Internet, and welcome back to Tales of Terragia. I am your Dungeon Master, Cosmic Tour Guide, Nick Salentano, and these are my 6 friends, Joey, Ross, Rachel, Monica, Phoebe, and Joey!
Oh.
Do anyone of us watch Friends?
I was almost on Friends. Yeah.
No.
That's true. My part got cut.
This is your big break.
Yeah, no, and here we are.
Wait, are we cutting room for
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of Friends?
Of Friends, yeah. R.I.P.
What could have been? What could have been? But now, thanks to you not being our friends,
Right, I'm
or
here.
I'm assuming it would have
Today.
diverted your entire life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had this beautiful experience.
So,
Also, how dare you?
words.
Yeah, I'm also
So who
curious
really
about who
won?
to say.
Right. Exactly.
That's for the fan poll to decide.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Yes.
actually.
Assign.
If
all
you
the
text your
people.
favorite friend's name to 6
They're
no,
almost-
I'm
be Ross.
Yeah, oh, he's a professor.
Yeah.
Is it a professor? You're a theologist. I've seen that show.
It's been a while.
He's a doctor.
In the meantime, you guys go
Doctor.
find at Tales of Terragia at any of the social medias and give us a follow. We'll be bringing stuff to you as much as we possibly can. But until then, enjoy this opening title sequence while we start the newest episode of Tales of Terragia.
Cue music.
Last time, the second law gave chase after Professor Veyron, Harmony's mentor and favorite teacher at Prismari, to the Lemon Drop Tavern, and also headquarters to the Glitz Glower, also known as the Fey Mafia, here in the city of Yokai.
The gag.
Yeah, the gag is.
You broke in, slipped inside, and snuck down into the bowels of the hideaway to find Veyron, but came across a bit more than you bargained for. Turns out the Lemon Drop indeed does have a literal back door into the Feywilds, no doubt used in their smuggling and criminal activity. At the door were Veyron and her vampire companion, which you now know to be named Kuvo, negotiating use of the door. Kuvo was able to step through, passing into the Fey and vanishing, but not before exhibiting some truly formidable strength, literally crushing the skull of a Glitz Glower member with his bare hands, and harvesting the blood into a jagged spear that he is just whip across the room. Clearly not someone to be taken lightly, despite his jovial and easygoing attitude. After a scuffle with Matilda, the leader of the Glitz Glower, you're able to negotiate a way out of combat, agreeing to never again return to the Lemon Drop or the Mafia's district in Yokai ever again, which later Riz clarifies is the Gleefire district. But now with Veyron safely in tow, you all have returned to Prismari with both answers and more questions. You pass through the ornate gates onto the Opus Walk campus of the school. It is just after midnight. You can hear the Magister's Masquerade has returned to its festivities now that the attacking orchestra has been dealt with. Riz offers to take Veyron to the school infirmary wing you all kind of get to recuperate and meet up together first, but he says he will join up with you later. So now that you're back here safe, second law, what you gonna do tonight?
I think this is the longest day that I've ever felt in my life.
It's a long day.
I think my stomach still hurts from all of that weird lemon barrier.
So dances off the table, I assume.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say no, but maybe a little nap.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we get some rest and figure out what we're gonna do tomorrow?
Yeah. I'd be remiss to
Hit the
change out of these
library?
clothes, but you know, we were all looking so good.
Maybe
All look very fancy still.
maybe we start, with a trip to the library. It's a great place to start anything when you have questions.
Definitely in need of some answers with regards to, poor Professor Veyron, all this that happened must have been so traumatic for her too.
Maybe a night's rest will help her recover a bit too before we maybe go ask her any other questions and
Interrogator.
nicely interrogate.
Are we worried
course.
that she might leave?
I mean, Race is watching after her, so I can't imagine
And-
she'd run.
This is watching over her to make sure she doesn't leave again.
That's a fair question.
But
Do you trust that Riz wouldn't side with the professor?
Or could
Yeah,
he
I
even
don't-
stop her if he alone?
Definitely not.
Even if he
I mean,
wanted
I
to?
guess she's so powerful. If she wanted to leave, she just would. I think that it seems like they needed the portal. That it doesn't work anymore. I don't think without the doorknob, right? It doesn't. Did it like close? Did it like turned off or whatever?
No, it's still there.
It's still there. Oh, you just have to control it with the.
Yeah. Basically, every time you turn the knob, the little window will slide over to reveal a new location, and you can either push it open to go to that location, or just leave it and then turn it again, and a new
Yeah.
thing will slide into place.
How confident are you that she will stay in the infirmary?
Well, maybe Riz could watch over her. I guess just to make sure she's safe. She seems so desperate, and you know that vampire man was really powerful and was really trying to kind of bend her to his will. So it could be safest just to have someone watching her.
Yeah.
I can rest in just 4 hours, so after I am done, I can head over there and keep an eye with Riz
Okay,
or whoever else.
that would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
And then we can once we wake up in the morning, we can come meet you there.
Perhaps she has some information that would help us figure out what our next steps should be.
Yeah, I think she'll probably have the most information if she will talk about it. But
Basil, do
She will.
you recognize the names of these locations on the door?
Yeah.
Are they places that are close to where you need to go?
Well, Burrow Grove is a little close to home, so it would be. I thought it was basically you can hop over there, but I don't know how far. But I don't know any of those other locations.
But that might be a place where you'd be interested in also going for your own.
I mean, getting to Burrow Grove would be real nice. But I don't know how we can get back into that door if we're not allowed over in there. But if
Perhaps we can talk to Riz about his connection to the Feywild.
yeah. See where he can get into. But
Yeah.
Fey's real big, so I don't know if we don't get close. I don't know where we'd be. But yeah, it's a start. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
rest now and then reconvene in the morning.
Yeah.
let's do that.
All right.
And while here, you still are gifted the 2 rooms by the staff, and although technically you have like sort of started the process of moving out, you still have your dorm here too. So you have like lodging at least for
Good night, everyone. I'm gonna walk into one of the rooms, just lay on the floor.
So yeah, I'll do my 4-hour trance, and then once I'm done, I'll head over to the infirmary.
No problem. Heading back to the room, whether are you going to go to your dorm or stay with the group?
Are the rooms like far apart?
They're like in the same like tower, not on the same floor. They're like,
I'll go back to my room.
in which case, returning to your room, you see a small stack of boxes in front of your door and a letter waiting for you. Things.
It's sealed. Does it look like anyone tampered with it?
No, it does hold the.
Did anyone Cardinal Wolsey me?
The stamp is the Claremont family crest.
Oh. That's what I should have asked. Do I recognize the seals? Not who spied on me. Oh, here we go.
The rest of you returning back into the rooms are, the kind of simple, undecorated dormitories. But there's the 2 rooms, 2 beds in each, and you can all split yourselves up however you like.
I'm pretty sure it's actually covered with fabric scraps and like
That's true.
pieces that were all because as Tem had rushed to put all those things together, it's kind of an explosion in there.
Oh, I'm gonna take all the little scraps and make like
A
little,
nest,
like,
yes,
thing. Yeah, just kind of
yes.
like poof, and just pop into it, and just, like
Excellent.
kick some, and then
Excellent.
just re-scurry some back in and plop in, and just go to sleep.
It's adorable.
And beneath that letter harmony, there's 3 boxes. One slightly larger, more ornate and decorative, with another with smaller, maybe like just a couple inches by 4 or 5 inch box, and then a small, almost like jewelry box looking one, kind of all stacked together.
All right. Well, I'll just
Got that
pick them up and
memory.
take them into my room, and then
Graduation.
they're like packet like gift kind of wrappy.
Yeah,
package. And then I'll open them up.
The smallest box, the jewelry box, looks to be a like kind of earring, kind of ear cuff that looks like once it slides onto the ear, it makes a little treble clef.
Oh, cute.
There is in the small, medium-sized box is a perfectly glass, every inch of it, from the handle all the way down to the clapper, perfect glass bell that can be added to your bandolier of bells. And the final box, though, one at the bottom, is very ornate, and it looks almost just like a hat box, but for like a tiara or something. It's a very, very kind of highly decorative box, and as you kind of like open the little snaps and kind of lift it open, inside, set in like a little velvet holder, is you recognize. Actually, give me a history check, real quick.
Okay. 11.
11. You don't know a lot of the specificity about them, but you do recognize these as ornamental cuffs that specifically tieflings wear on their horns. They're little sort of like bands that have kind of chains that link between them. I will say that even upon first glance, these have... If someone were to see you wearing them, there is no mistake that you are associating yourself with Avernus and or the Hells.
Oh. All right.
Fashion statement.
Back in the room, are you all kind of like settling into one room, splitting into the 2 different ones? I just want to know where everybody is.
I'll probably be whichever Basil's
Yeah,
in.
thingies.
I chose one at random, so whatever works the best.
Yeah, I believe I had taken a bed in.
I think you're the only one that
Bed
took a
to
bed.
bed.
Everyone
Yeah.
else either chose the floor
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a
Sure.
pile of scraps on
Yeah.
the floor.
Yeah. So.
I'll take the other bed. Why not?
We'll just say we're all in the same room.
Sleepover.
Yeah.
Also, I will remind Nik-Nak, you have 2 boxes,
Yes.
crates that you took
Yes.
from
Yeah.
there.
Which, before anyone goes to
Yeah.
bed,
Yeah.
I was gonna kick open Sledgehog, pull out the one that had the precious stones
Oh,
that I remember,
yes.
and be like, "Hey, everyone, look!"
Just pop up.
and just
What's these?
what'd you get? Jump it onto the ground.
You dump open this crate, which is inside is like segmented into little like areas, but now it all just kind of piles. Water falls out onto the ground.
Nik-Nak, where did you get this?
What in the place?
Oh, from. Oh.
From
Oh.
the,
well,
the
we're
mobsters.
Definitely never going to be
Oh.
allowed back there now.
These
but
are jewels?
Good job.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna connect that to us?
Who cares? Start scooping it back.
I do a little bit.
Well,
Well,
just
we,
have
we
to
did say we weren't gonna break their stuff, and
Yeah.
they let us go.
We didn't
so.
say anything about not taking anything.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Do we
Okay.
have a
Plus, this
sense
probably isn't
of,
theirs anyway.
just looking at
That's
it,
a good point.
what kind of value these
I'll
jewels
give you
were?
the measurements of them because I'm assuming you at least take a little bit of time to
Yeah,
count
we'll
out.
have a look at what this.
Well, now I got to separate these back out into piles.
Go through the arduous task of reorganizing everything. This box contains 400 gold pieces worth of diamonds, 275 gold pieces worth of various gemstones, 672 just straight up gold pieces, and a pair of sending stones.
Nice.
Sorry.
What does this thing do?
What was the second amount?
I'm just
again?
like waving the stone
275.
around.
So 400
Keep
cheap
the changes
stones,
rock.
Practicing juggling
275
with them.
cheap
Uh-huh.
various gemstones.
Just various
like
gemstones.
just different coloured stones. And 672 gold.
This is a family show.
What do these stones do?
Let me see. And I'll cast. Whoa! I'll cast. What is the spell?
Identify.
You identify,
that spell!
you identify them as a set of sending stones. So yeah, you basically can just cast sending from one to the other. I believe it's three times a day.
I'll explain that.
Oh, this is very
Oh,
useful.
yeah.
We
Magic
need to
rocks.
Be in different places. We can stay in touch.
Maybe you should take one while you go look at Professor Favorite. Just in case she
That's
like
a good
runs
idea.
off or
Just
something.
in case, yeah.
Yeah.
Give Anara one of them.
Okay.
And then Zakkai, do you want the other one? With
Yeah.
You liking rocks at all?
Can I wonder if I can move it. Can I move it?
Yeah. Roll just a wisdom check real quick, and add your proficiency bonus as well.
Oh, okay.
It's at least
Um, yeah, that's at least a 20 something.
Oh yeah. You hold your hand out, and the rock just flies right into your hand.
Oh, alright.
And to you, it feels like any other rock that you could.
I mean, I guess that
Are these
makes
easy
sense.
to operate? Is it? Do you just?
Yeah, you just sort of speak into him.
Yeah.
Just sort of speak into him.
Speak into them and
I'll say that just to trigger the effect, there's it's just a small river stone with a sigil carved into it. If you run your thumb over it, it will glow, and then you
that
speak into it. And then
uses one of the charges. Okay. All right. And was there another box that you took?
Yeah, I didn't look at that one.
We hid you on the way out.
On the way out,
The
yes.
second box.
I did
Well,
some
look
mighty
for
fine
the second
distracting
one.
if I say so myself.
Second box is less glittery and has more kind of items in it.
Stuff!
Inside there are a pair of curly-toed slippers. There is
I'm gonna wear shoes.
a small case with it's a ring, but it looks like it's made out of several little tiny rocks that are kind of held together, and have a bit of moss and greenery on it. There is a sort of long, looks to be kind of like a, those horns that you would drink mead out or whatever, but it's not a drinking horn. It's sealed. There's a little kind of cap on it that you would have to unlatch and latch
like
to it.
look at gunpowder or something.
Yeah.
Like narrow, so it could hold something in it.
And
or something's already in it.
there is a small,
Sure.
looks to be another kind of brooch, jewelry brooch kind of case. And you open it, inside there is just a small, tiny bit bigger than a piece of gum, little kind of ruby quartz stone just kind of sitting in their box.
Interesting.
Should I take a look at these two?
Yeah.
Yeah, does it all seem magical?
Only one way to find out. I'll cast it if I on all of them.
You identify the Fey step slippers. The ring of Fey frivolity.
Somebody write this down.
Fey step slippers.
Ring of
Ring of Fey frivolity. Draconic powder horn.
It's a Christmas.
And the small stone you identify as an ion stone of protection.
IOU stone of protection.
IOUN. Stone of protection.
Iron stone.
Oh.
They all radiate a fair amount of magic, especially the little piece of ruby quartz that's stone. Nik-Nak definitely kind of lights up the
The iron
brightest.
stone. Or...
Yes.
Well, my inventory is being funny.
So mine too.
I can check it. See if I can get
I
it.
will also maybe read them out to you.
That'd be great.
Let's see.
As Nik-Nak begins to explain.
He explains that the
You have to do the voice.
Yes.
These glitter smackle no.
That was good.
For the, I'm not gonna steal the thunder. The
I don't want to
face
upstage.
the face step
No one could.
slippers
No one could.
do require attunement, but if you walk in them, you feel as if you're walking on a gentle breeze. They possess a signature amount of Fey magic that basically cancels out any sound that your footstep makes. So long as you take a step with these shoes on, your feet do not make any sound, and you have advantage on stealth checks while attempting to be quiet. However, you do leave a trail of glittering dust behind you wherever you go while you walk.
Slay.
Leaving behind a small little 15-foot trail of glitter. You
I knew all
also
these things were very
Tinkerbell.
gay.
Yeah.
you can also cast the spell Kinetic Jaunt once per short rest while wearing these slippers. The
Was there?
Ring of Faith.
What happens if I put one slipper on?
You go in a circle.
He's stuck on space. I got covered in a big pile of
Yeah.
The ring, you notice that once you put it on, nothing seems to happen. You still feel it and everything, but any part of finger that goes through the ring is invisible on the other side. So it just looks like the finger ends at the ring.
What about your finger?
It's still there. You can still feel it. You still touch it. It's just a little cosmetic feature of it.
It doesn't feel like your own finger.
Gotta love that
Disgusting.
feature.
I don't even want to hear that.
She said it doesn't feel like her own finger.
Cut that out.
No, there's nothing
This is
cut here.
There's a stranger in the
That's the
room.
most useful part of that picture.
Hey, you made it up. You made that.
I'm trying to put it on like the end of my tail.
Oh my god.
I feel like disclaimer.
find out our
played in a
real-
lot.
Right back
So
to
you like put it on the tail. It
Yeah.
looks like it got cut off a little, like an inch or two into it. While wearing the ring, it has one charge. You can cast one of these 3 spells per day, either Blink, Invisibility, or Warp Sense. However, once you use a charge to cast one of these spells, you risk opening a tiny tear into the Feywild, and you must roll a d6, and something will happen.
I mean, that
Or
sounds
will not
perfect.
happen. There's an even amount
Yeah,
of...
can we make the tear
Convenient.
bigger and then go through?
What is it? Yeah. Is it a tear that we could travel through?
Or did bad stuff just happen?
I don't know. Can I try this?
She comes
It's not
out.
in
Yeah.
my personality
Right,
to test that.
right.
but-
Depends on how big your finger is.
Is that also required?
You put that on like the very bottom tip of my little.
It just
foot.
it perfectly
Put it on
fits.
tab.
No, that was not an like,
Oh, nice.
just as we're kind of keeping track of who might want these to use.
Oh,
them.
More
oh,
sexy
the
guys
ring
are
was
awesome.
not
Yes.
attunement.
That's not required to.
Ring is not attunement.
That's
Nice,
nice.
wow.
Invisibility once a day.
Yeah. Or, and or blink.
And the...
Blink is fun. I've never used it, but that sounds fun.
Yeah, that's good.
The Iron Stone of Protection. Where is it? Basically, the little stone, it does require attunement, but so long as it's attunes to you, the small little, again, it's only like the size of a piece of gum, that little stone will like orbit you and just kind of remain close to your body. It grants whoever is attuned to it +1 to AC.
Wow.
Oh.
That's nice.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't.
I'll toss it over.
No. I mean, I'll take it if no one else wants it.
The
I'd be
any
interested,
other
but
one?
I'm not gonna. I don't have to fight for it. If you really want it.
the
I'll take
draconic
a little
powder
more.
horn. The description is quite lengthy, so I will let you read that on your own time. I imagine that Nik-Nak would find it the most useful.
I've imagined that as well. Draconic powder horn.
Also, up in my room, the things that I opened,
Yes.
I don't have identify, but in as much as I can, do any of them seem magical, or do they just seem like gifts?
They do. I will tell you what they are, just so you can add them to your inventory. You may add the Clear Bell.
I think if you spend an hour just inspecting an item,
You can, yeah,
it's like the equivalent of casting identify.
you at least
Yeah.
get the general
According to
gist
the-
of it.
I don't know if it's in the 2024 players handbook, but it is in the. So
Sounds
basically,
good-
taking
sounds
a
good
short
to me.
rest to inspect an
Okay.
item.
Yeah.
Get you learn its
The
properties.
Right, yeah.
ear cuff is the treble cuff.
Cute.
All
That's a
one
great
word.
pun.
And the fiendish tethers for the ornamental headpiece.
Loud and proud, Kenry. Loud and proud.
The draconic powder horn was the one that you're looking up. Okay. Is it a two?
Doesn't say.
I don't believe.
Don't think so.
Yeah, if it doesn't say, it usually means it's Okay, so 2 of them require attunement, the slippers and the stone, the others do not. Tem, is there any of these items that you are interested in?
Oh, well, I mean, they're fascinating. I don't think my feet will fit in the slippers.
Maybe they're magic slippers that will fit your feet.
I try and put one on. Does it just fit a few toes, or does it change size?
As you kind of pull it, like you're like this is barely like pulling like the back heel of it back, and you think this is gonna be a joke. But as you do, it like
Stretches?
elongates,
Nice.
and kind of like elastifies.
It was made for you.
Well,
Wow.
wouldn't you look at that? They're like, are they golden? What's the color? What's the?
Actually, yeah, there's a photo. One second.
You gotta walk around in a little to see how they feel.
Oh, look! Glitter!
Oh.
Well, I'm still wearing my like gold suit, so there's glitter trailing off or quite a sight right now.
They are quite a
Garish?
sight. Very garish, very iridescent purple with
Okay.
gold kind of like trim, curly toes at the end that your toes do not fit into,
Yeah.
but they are kind of curled up at the end.
Yeah.
It is.
Well,
They're definitely eye catching.
this is quite the fashion statement. I don't think I need necessarily any of these. The ring is very interesting though, and especially with you said that it could create a small portal into the Feywild, but that,
Well, a tear that
hmm,
goes
I
to
wonder
the
if that-
Feywild. I don't know if that
yeah,
counts as a portal.
Right, I wonder if that
It
could
may just
be-
mean magical effects can come through.
hmm.
Well, maybe we can look in.
Or manipulate it somehow. I don't know.
Well, let's check out our more sure
Yeah.
options,
Yeah.
like Riz or.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm okay, thank you. And then I like go to pull the heel back and it shoots off of my foot. And like, it's like, oh, sorry. Good
These little
catch,
trail
Basil.
of glitter in the
Yeah.
air.
Sprinkled over all the fabrics.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of like the little trail Tinkerbell leaves
Yeah.
behind. It's that little like
Yeah.
mid-air kind of like
Nice.
goldy glitter.
Well, this room is a mess now.
Yeah, it is.
well, I'm sure we'll be able to clean up before they make us leave. Well, good job, Nik-Nak. That was quite the haul.
Yeah. Good work grabbing those.
They probably have a lot more stuff, but I don't think we can go back.
No.
I don't think so
Yeah,
either.
I think we did the right idea.
We did not make friends there.
But we did make enemies, I guess.
Yes, that was a very mean little fairy.
And that's something.
If we did want to divide the gold pieces among us, it would be 112 gold pieces each.
That's good counting.
Seems fair.
Works for me. That is
Shall
good
we
counting.
do that?
Sure.
Did you do all that in your head?
No, I've been doing it for the last 5 minutes.
Oh, sorry. I was distracted by the glitter. It-
Took
Yeah.
a while.
It's really pretty.
Anara pulled out an abacus. She was,
Yes.
yeah.
What was it? 120 what?
112.
112.
Should we maybe save the gems for like hawking them or something?
Yeah, maybe
Yes,
for
and
trading.
diamonds have
Diamonds are
sometimes have magical properties.
Very
I believe.
useful. But yeah, I'm shocked that they just had. I mean, I guess it was their secret hideout, but they just had this laying around.
Well, it did have something guarding it, but I think Riz like got rid of it.
Mm.
That's just why I grabbed it.
Well,
Okay, so I would split the gold up, but leave the
Yeah.
gems in.
that can stay together, I think. Yeah.
I would keep them in Sledgehog still.
Yeah. Ooh, maybe we could decorate Sledgehog with gems.
You see his eyes.
Do you want to attract attention to them that way?
No.
Sledgehog did not get a makeover.
Wait.
like everyone else did.
Can you?
No, he got the eye.
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. He did get a little like mask piece.
Can Sledgehog wear the slippers?
Put it on Sledgehog.
They form onto it.
Take a walk, Sledge.
As he's quadrupedal, so as he walks, the first 2 steps silent, and
Uh,
I feel like he
I
does
could
the thing
relate.
that cats do when they have like.
then
Yeah, when you put hoodies on them, yeah.
like he's stuck on flypaper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, you'll get used to it.
It's nice to add 112 gold pieces. So my total wealth is now 112 gold pieces.
Wow.
That's all of us.
Do-
Adam.
do-
Rolling it in.
Not,
Do
mine's not
monks
much
in
more.
your order practice aestheticism? Do they take a vow of poverty, or I never really
No, I just-
knew.
Never really left with any real resources other than my equipment.
Yeah.
So it's good. I think I may owe you money for the outfit
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I don't know.
because I remember it cost you money to buy the
It's
the
fine.
fabric
We
and,
with
I have money
everything.
now.
Well, with everything that happened, giant instrument attack and then going and having to infiltrate a secret hideout. I'm just happy that we got to get out.
Thank
we're
you.
we're safe and sound, and we have Veyron back, and so I'm just sad we didn't get to dance more, but it was fun while it lasted.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone asks about our outfits, of course we'll tell them. Tem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ten can hem.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very good. That should be my tagline.
That's good. Right.
That's good. Marketing.
And of course I can find storage for these. So if we ever need to get gussied up again, we'll have can start a little clothing archive for us.
Great.
Expanding the closet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You hear that? We want fan art. All the outfits.
Please.
All of it. The remainder of the evening goes by uneventfully in both rooms. At one point, close to like end of the evening, very very early morning before the sun arrives, there is like a gentle tap at the door. I don't know if anyone else is keeping watch. I know that you are always semi-conscious.
Well, I'm gonna do the 4 hours,
yeah.
and then I'm actually gonna head over to the infirmary and just check first of all that Professor Veyron is still there, and that Riz is still there.
Yeah, you do arrive. They don't allow you to see her, but they do confirm that she's there.
Yeah.
Or at least the like infirmary staff say like, oh yeah, she's here. She's recovering.
May I just wait here?
Certainly. Yes, you're more welcome. And just kind of like give you a little seat outside.
Just stand
I'll
ominously
spend
in
the
the
rest
waiting
of the
room.
evening.
T
Spend the rest
pose.
of the evening there. Are there any? Do I know if there are any other exits?
From the infirmary?
Yeah.
You're not sure.
Not sure. All right. Well, I'll wait there for the rest of the evening.
In which case, did anyone in the other room set up like a watch, or did you all just go to bed?
I think I would have, if I knew she was going to be gone, I would have slept my 6 necessary, and then there just would have been 2 hours sleep, and then I would have woken up as early as possible.
And I have the sending stone if you need to reach it.
Yeah.
I'm just asleep.
Tem loves sleep, so
Sleep.
he's
Yeah,
out.
yeah, sleep.
Right.
Tuckered out.
I feel safe in school. So.
In which case,
After the musical instrument.
Well, yeah.
I feel
What
sick.
could possibly
After a
You can't
vampire
get a
threatened
horse
a
out of a
teacher,
burning
Yeah.
barn or something.
he got away with it.
Right.
I imagine that
School.
schools have little special locks or something.
Yeah.
Low level magic or something. I don't know.
Early in the morning, Zakkai, you're the only one that's awake. Did you hear a gentle tap on the door?
I'll get up, pat over. Hello?
You look out and see Riz is kind of standing in the hall.
Oh.
Just kinda, you guys good?
Yeah. Everyone's asleep. Should I wake him?
No. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay.
Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something.
Okay. Yeah. Just I'm gonna step out, close the door, and stand in the hallway. What's going on?
Do you know what a planar panoramic dramaturgy is?
Gesundheit.
He made that up.
No.
Cool. Follow me. And he kind of already starts walking down the hall.
But there, I was kind of watching everyone.
Oh, did you want to wait?
Watch everyone sleep.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be okay. I'm sure they'll be fine. And then
Leave the chorus of weird snores behind.
yeah, just echoing through the. Okay, they'll be fine. And then I'll follow you.
He kind of leads you off. Riz takes you to a part of the school, to one of the taller towers on the far eastern part of the school, where classrooms for transmutation are usually held. Outside the tower windows, you see the massive glass flames that kind of curl around the school's tower that disorients the cityscape into a shimmering, warbling sea of darkness and pinpoints of light. He goes to a large kind of door with knockers on it, pushes it open, kind of bows and lets you through. The room he leads you in is what I missed.
Nothing.
It's got young Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, the giant.
I was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I was just
I did
sitting
that.
here
I
and
just
I
did a
was
little
like, it
shimmy
can't be
here.
this time.
Yeah.
I can't do it again.
My head went
You
there
did
too,
your
and I was
part.
like,
That was my part,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna say anything.
It's right in my mind. I could not see it.
I'm just struggling against
He always does that. Don't worry about it.
The room he leads you into looks somewhat like an observatory. Large space with a domed ceiling. The floors, walls, ceiling are all composed of these flat sheets of bluish-gray stone that seem to oddly reflect light when they're cast upon. A massive golden astrolabe device kind of holds the center of the room. It looks incredibly complex and ornate, covered in runic markings, small gemstones, and you'll also notice shards of red arcanium. The astrolabe seems to chart not the stars of the Noah's cosmos, but the very planes of existence. Riz kind of like pulls and starts like wrenching these like controls on the astrolabe, and he's like, "So yeah, this is a planar, panoramic dramaturgy. Really helps those with magic that like a lot of the sorcerers use it if they have magic that's tied to one of the planes. Warlocks sometimes use them to like help connect with like planes that their patrons are from. Figured I could show you. You didn't know too much about your whole, elemental side.
Yeah.
I tried it once with the planet air, and I got like a little bit out of it, but I don't know if you want to try it. Maybe it'll give you something more.
Is it gonna hurt?
No, it's just kind of like it basically replicates a small amount of that plane here.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. He kind of like finishes like changing and pulling all these different levers, and the big gold machine kind of like turns and swirls, and all these kind of like different planetary and astrological bodies. Yes, kind of like move around and clock and click into place. You notice that as the big center mechanism is moving, the bluish gray panels that make up the floor, ceiling, and walls kind of like tilt and slide until it's almost like you're inside a broken Rubik's Cube where all the panels that make up the room are sort of like tilted and like shaped strangely before he finally throws one final lever and the room takes on a warm orange brown kind of like hue, almost as if the room is thrown into like a sepia tone, as like sand and rock and earth starts pouring in through any gaps between those panels before like the floor starts like filling up with sand and the room gets like warm, the air feels drier. It's bringing a small part of the plane of earth here and localizing it into this room.
Holy shit.
It's not going there. It's just like the next best thing. It's like a tour.
Is it real?
Yeah and no. The energy is like the planar magic is. There's like a real tiny tether there, but he kind of like reaches in and like passes his hand through the sand. The sand like hits his hand and like kind of falls off of it, but it's almost kind of ethereal. As the sand kind of comes off, it dissipates before it just kind of vanishes.
Gotcha.
So it's here, but it's also not here. It was even weirder with, at least this place has rocks. The air one was real weird.
Yeah, what did you just fall through the sky?
Yeah, we basically were standing on the ground, but felt like you were falling all the time.
That sounds awful.
It was. It freaked me the fuck out. But, it takes some getting used to.
Do you come here a lot?
Not anymore. When I was trying to get in touch with my, Air Genasi heritage, I kind of was coming up here a lot. I didn't get as much out of it as I wanted to. Now I kind of use it to connect with the patron, which that's kind of how I would get you guys. If you're still looking to go to the Fae,
Yeah.
I can cut a deal with her, but it will cost you guys.
What's the price?
I don't know yet. She kind of just chooses when you get there, and she'll just take. But it will guarantee you safe passage through the Fae. She has some sway, a lot of sway.
Is she fair? I mean, if we make this deal, are we gonna regret it?
She's fair. A little abrasive, and her prices are steep, but fair. And she will definitely hold up her end of the bargain, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to check with the others, but I'm sure that they're just as interested as I am as going, especially her rabbit friend.
I mean, I figured. And I want to help you guys out. I mean, I don't know any other way back there other than if you guys want to sneak back into the lemon drop, which is risky and crazy, and I am down for it.
I mean, it's on the table. So, let's talk to the room? Like, how do I find information about myself with this?
I don't know. I think this is kind of one of those you kind of feel it out kind of things.
Okay.
He kind of like steps back and towards like the back of the room, and just kind of awkward, like puts his hands behind his back, and just kind of tries to like give you space without actually like leaving the room.
I'm gonna put my hands out, see if, even though this is a very magical form of earth and sand, can I manipulate it at all?
Yeah, it's you reach out and you feel it, but it's kind of like how you feel mist or steam. It's there, but it's trying to like grab it is hard.
Okay. Hello? I'm Zakkai. I don't know if you talk or if I'm just supposed to sit here while the sand pours in. Is the sand getting any higher?
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
I don't know if this is a buried alive situation, but
I hope not.
I don't know a lot. Hoping to learn.
Roll a wisdom check for me real quick.
Not good, I'll tell you that. That is a 9 total.
9. You kind of like call out, and there's a moment where you both kind of like just like wait and are really quiet for anything. And a few seconds go by and nothing, and you kind of like allow yourself to like exhale and release a little bit. And as you exhale, you feel yourself drop and sink a few inches into the ground.
Is that supposed to happen?
And, it feels like you're slowly getting like deeper and deeper.
Hey, Riz, I'm
What?
kind of shrinking here.
Okay, well then come on. Yeah.
Can I like step my way up?
You like lift your like leg, and there's like, you know, the ankles like beneath the sand. As your leg lifts up, it just stops right there. There's no foot anymore.
Oh my god. I don't have a foot.
That did not happen to me.
I don't have a foot.
He like kind of like
Wait, make another one.
Yeah.
he like takes a few steps and stops at the sand and thinks about it for a second, and then sort of casts levitate on himself to like move himself over to the big astrolabe without actually stepping on the sand, and starts like pulling levers and stuff. I'm gonna stop it. Don't worry. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Just deep breaths. You've got another foot, right?
I'm gonna put that leg down and lift the other one.
Same thing.
I'm gonna switch and bring the other one back up. Just keep cutting off chunks of my leg.
It's weird. It's almost as if like you like put your foot down and then you feel it kind of like you feel a foot still, but as you kind of lift it up, there's like it's as if you just leave it behind.
Okay. Wait. Is this maybe this is okay? Maybe this is fine. Maybe this is okay.
This is fine.
Well, no, but I feel it. I can still feel it. I just can't see it.
Okay.
So I still have a foot.
Okay.
And part of my shin.
Okay. Do I stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just... I think I have to know what this is. Right?
I don't know. I mean, I tried, and the airplane just gave me a real weird sense of like nausea and vertigo for the first few times. Then I kind of got used to that falling feeling, and I don't know, like, I felt comfortable here. Do you feel comfortable here?
I kind of do, actually. A little freaked out, but I mean, it feels familiar in a way.
That's good,
Yeah.
right? That's good.
Okay. Should I? I mean, maybe I should just go down.
I'm not gonna tell you how to live your truth, but that sounds real bad.
But this room isn't dangerous though, right?
No,
Like it's not gonna hurt me.
no. It's just a loose experimental tether to another plane of existence.
But it only started happening when I asked for help. So maybe it's answering me.
Or eating you.
It's a good point.
Should we start making you new feet? And he starts like piling sand together.
Yeah, I guess. Just shut this thing off.
Okay. It kind of goes back to it. Eventually, the room kind of like the hum in it stops, and all the plates kind of slide back to normal. The sand stops dripping. That sepia tone fades away. There's little like slats in the ground that you imagine in like the water plane. Water would kind of trail out through, and the sand starts like seep through it. And as the like level drops and kind of goes past your foot, your feet are there.
Oh, thank God. Woo! Still got him.
Lucky.
I lift my leg.
Oh, yes.
My toes.
All of them, like all 10 piggies there.
All good.
Okay.
Those are my feet.
Those are your feet.
Those are my feet. I kicked up
All
high.
12. Just as normal.
Yeah, canonically 12 toes.
Does Zakkai have 12
No,
toes?
no,
Okay.
he does not.
Just clarify.
All on one foot.
Yeah, just want to make sure
Oh.
the wiki is up to date.
The other one has 2.
Okay.
Okay. Well, did I ruin it? Did I mess it up?
No, I mean, look, I didn't get any feeling or anything from it until I tried it like half a dozen times. So, don't like count yourself out. I just figured, I don't know, we got a thing in common, and I wanted to help you.
No, I appreciate that. It's rare for me to find someone who can kind of get this like you can.
Yeah, really different in terms of moving what around. You move a lot of heavier stuff around. Sounds harder. This stuff, you kind of wave his hand, and there's like a kind of like wind that like whips up in the room.
Oh, my hair.
This stuff is there, and you just kind of like do that.
I mean, but in a way, you're lucky then, right? You can just move it around. It's everywhere. You never run out of it.
Oh, I'm the luckiest guy there is. Have you seen his face?
It's a good face, gotta admit.
Second only to maybe Professor Zaffi, but
Yeah.
the whole horse hat kind of like.
Does that ruin
puts
it or make
damper.
it?
I don't know. It depends on the night and how much ambrosia there is.
So true, my friend. So true. Well, I gotta say, I'm gonna be looking at this professor in a whole new light, and we'll chat afterward. But thanks for showing me this.
Sure, anytime.
I'm gonna come back to it.
He'll like kind of like lead you out, and he kind of like looks around the room a little bit, making sure that like any evidence that he was here is kind of like gone before he kind of closes the door.
Oh, are we being sneaky? Am I not supposed to be in here?
No, we definitely weren't supposed to be in.
Oh. Am I gonna be able to come back? Like if I wanted to? Is it magically like barred from visitors?
No, I mean I can get in.
Oh, okay. I just figured maybe you as a student might have different like permissions or.
No, definitely not supposed to be in it. Actually, I'm not even technically a student anymore, so I'm technically
That's true.
trespassing.
Oh.
So we should
Let's get out of here.
He kind of like also turns into the lead.
Make our way hurriedly.
You get back just as the day kind of starts for everybody
natural.
else.
I go from my room to the group rooms. Just.
I'll get it.
Are you all awake already?
Hi, Harmony. Morning. I look back at everyone else and was like, I think they're all still sleeping. Wake up, everyone!
It's
Harmony's here.
research day.
Hey everyone!
Yeah, you say
Down
that,
the
Tem
hallway.
goes, oh! Perks right up.
Tem goes from dead sleep
Sleep
to
to-
sitting bolt up.
Did someone say research?
Zakkai will like turn down the hallway. Hey, Harmony!
Oh, I didn't
Uh,
think you were
Look, found Riz.
an early riser.
Hey.
Not. Did you go to sleep at all?
Nope.
I don't know how you do it. It must be a warlock thing.
The party was still
Speaking
going on
of
downstairs.
which, I might have to talk to you over breakfast.
Am I in trouble?
No.
Then we can talk.
Okay. I might just need some tips, maybe some advice on some warlock things.
I got you.
Maybe we should eat.
Were you wearing your like new stuff at all? Or?
I put the cuff and the and I have the bell like in my one of the little like pouchy things again, but I didn't put the horn things on.
Gotcha.
By the way, Harmony,
yeah,
we divvied
breakfast.
this up last night. I'll just
What is it?
throw the coins at you.
Oh,
Money! Nick just
Well.
throws 120 gold pieces at you.
cool. Okay. I put them in my bag. Well, well, thank you.
We also got a bunch of gems and some diamonds.
Oh,
Yeah.
those will come in handy, I'm sure.
Also some stuff
Yeah, some stuff.
Yeah.
I'll show you
Yeah.
later.
Okay, and I won't ask where they came from.
No.
Okay,
for the best.
great.
The less you know, the
Good
better.
reaction.
Yeah.
We're starting to get a system down
Yeah.
here, it seems.
Yeah.
Ooh. Cute cuff. Where'd you get that from?
Thanks. It was
Oh.
a graduation present.
It is cute. It's good on you.
Yeah, my father left me some little graduation presents when I got back.
That's
So one
nice.
of them was this, and I got a new bell,
Ooh,
and
shiny.
yeah.
So your dad knows that you were becoming a bard?
Well, he knows I was at school. I guess we can have this conversation now. Obviously, Riz knows what's happening, but both my parents thought that I was at school to be a warlock. Obviously, that's not true. So, at some point, I just have to figure out how to break the news to them.
But he got you a bell, so does he kind of maybe
I mean, he
secretly
knows I
know?
like music.
Okay, all right.
You make a fair point.
Yeah. I feel like the
But-
parents always kind of
They always
know.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Parents are like that.
sometimes they really don't.
Yes, I also relate to that. But, I mean, it's great that they're celebrating you.
Well, and I always played music growing up, and I mean, that's how I, started to love music in the first place. I think they just never really viewed it as an actual career path to take, and just assumed that I would follow in my father's footsteps to become a warlock. And I mean, I started in warlock classes. That's how I met Riz in the first place.
Right.
Tax and patrons, 101.
And I made him sit in the front with me, and it wasn't quite for me. But I don't want to disappoint them.
Well, I'm sure they won't be disappointed. You graduated basically at the top of your class. How could they be upset at that?
I know, it's more, I mean, I don't want them to be, I guess, angry either. I know they'll be proud of me no matter what, but,
Yeah.
it's hard to, they think I've been in warlock classes for 3 years, so it's it's kind of hard to find the right way to tell them that, all of the letters were kind of a fib.
Kind of a
Well,
fib.
Kind of a
Well,
3-year
yeah.
fib.
There are much more important things and much more pressing things than your manner of study and the way that you do magic in the
Yeah.
world. So
Yeah, so I might just need your patron's full legal name and maybe a plan for how to fake being a warlock for just a little longer.
Sure.
Or maybe, I guess, help me draft a letter to break it to him.
Yeah, sure. I can.
I know,
definitely, yeah.
it's really early for all of this. Maybe we should get some breakfast first.
Yeah, I second that.
I third that.
So busy day today. Lots to do.
Yeah.
Lots of plans.
In which case, yeah. What is on the Anara? You've basically been in the infirmary waiting room all night, but there's no one kind of like updates you or anything. You see people kind of coming in and out. It's an active
Can
infirmary.
I see if I can just at least get a look inside to see and confirm that she's still there? You know what? I'll send Slink in.
Oh, okay, fantastic. I'll say especially during the evening.
During the night,
Yeah. Give me.
when there aren't any people, when there are fewer people, perhaps coming and going. I just want to.
Give me a stealth check as Slink real quick, with advantage.
Slink with the night staff.
Did you give Anara ascending star?
Yeah.
Mhm.
she
Yes.
does.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if anything happens, I'll let you know.
I was gonna let her know. When her
Oh, where's
breakfast.
Anara?
No, that's dirty 20.
Very much.
Showing up for breakfast. Copy.
Assuming you're kind of looking through Slink's.
Use it for 3 days.
Yeah,
Like,
so I'm going to
breakfast time.
send Slink
Meat's back
in
on the
stealthily, and then I'll just sort of sense. And I think I'll have Slink actually stay in that area as a shadow,
Like a puddle
stuck up
form.
against, under the bed or something, where completely out of sight, where their blind sight can kind of tell if people are coming or going. You just keep a check in every few minutes on
Yeah.
surveillance.
I will say with that, you do certainly
Slink
get
valence.
a visual on Professor Valen. She is in the infirmary in one, set up in one of the beds. She seems to have gotten her own, not her own room per se, but her own section that seems to be roped off for staff or teachers.
Okay.
At one point, you you jump back into the senses just in time for some medical staff to be asking her a series of questions that seem to be kind of like a cognitive test to see if that she's answering on her own accord. They're asking her questions that only that she would know to kind of make sure that if she is charmed, what the
charm
yeah. You see that there are a couple times where they cast spells on her and they use this sort of long wand with almost like dream catchery looking thing at the end to kind of pass over her, and they basically you see a routine version of the running the tests the first day at the hospital kind of situation. But she never leaves, and you do know that at least by the morning she's still there.
She's okay. How far away is the infirmary from where everyone else is? Is it in a different tower, across the university?
Different tower, but not. It's not across campus or
Okay.
anything. It's just one building over.
Okay. All right. So, confirming that she's still there, I'll call Slink back, summon Slink back, and then head back in the morning over to the rest of the group.
In which case, by breakfast time, we're all kind of reunited and gathered up again. It's research day. What else? What are you guys doing? Where are
We
you
can
going?
take a long rest.
Yes, you all are free to take long rests.
Ooh.
It's probably been a while since that happened. I think the past couple sessions have been just the one day.
Yeah.
Long
It's
day.
been a long day.
Long day.
Well, Harvey was right. It's been a long day.
Combats.
Okay, so I'll just update everyone and say, yes, Professor Vern, they're doing tests. She's still there.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
seems
Alright.
seems stable though.
appears to be, yeah.
Conscious?
As far as I know.
Okay, so at least she hasn't tried to
That's good.
make a dash for it.
I mean, I wouldn't think that she would, but okay. Well,
Do we need to talk with her more? What research do we want to do?
Well, did we want to see what we can find out about this fragment of immortality?
I mean,
Is that what he was?
yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like that's the
Searching for?
motivating factor for all of this,
Yeah.
and I can't help but feel like there's many things that might be bound up in something that's as powerful as this. It seems to be
There
very-
must be at least legends about it,
Yeah.
or stories, even if they're more seem to be based in mythology. A lot of times, those things have like an element of truth to them. So, we could start there.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We need
Or-
to understand what this is all about.
And maybe did we ever learn if it's like, is it like a guy or like a creature or something that's like the person that's kind of guarding all of these like magic
the only-
collection?
I think the only information I ever got was that Kuo is after a fragment of immortality, which is held by a collector of some sort
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the Feywild.
Okay.
And I mean, maybe this wouldn't be in textbooks so much, but we could always try to see if there's something about a collection of items or a horde in the Feywild or like a guard or a watch kind of person or a creature or something that
Yeah.
protects or guards or collects magical items.
Well,
Yeah.
Something like that.
when
It's
I-
probably a history of notable Fae.
Could I make
Figures, yeah.
maybe a history check if Mama and Papa maybe have told me like weird like story time tales of anything of like a collector sort of thing?
Oh yeah, give me a history check real quick.
Now that we're like around books and being like, let's look at all this stuff and
Stay out of Farmer John's collection.
yeah, exactly. What was that? A history you said?
Yeah,
That's an 8.
an 8. There is very little outside of like the kind of localized garden area that you kind of the Fluffle Hops kind of like
Yep.
homestead was on. There are all manner of like stories and tales and stuff that your parents have told you, and you're for a long time you were certain every single one of them was true.
Yep.
100%, 1000% true.
Yep.
At some point, as we all do, we all grow up and learn at some point that at least one of those stories wasn't true, which started the snowball effect of Basil questioning whether or not all of them were or not are true. It's whether you believe they are or not. It's all kind of a jumble now. So you've heard plenty of tales about like stuff and weapons and things gifted by the gods are buried in the earth and things that have come from the Fae or other planes. It's all just like, who knows? to
Yep.
you.
Yeah, why would Papa Time lie to me? So that's all I need. And I just like retell some of these things. I was like, maybe there's like this in here. Like maybe we can find that.
Oh, okay.
But
you know,
I
you know
guess
best.
I guess maybe we can start finding books and just start pulling some random stuff
Okay.
down and just start.
Well, when I was doing some research in the nautical maps and trying to figure out what that area of the ocean that was indicated in that weaving in Foundtown was, you know, there was other rumored locations out there of great treasure. I think it's called Heart of the Ocean, something like that. Yeah.
Oh, right.
But that's not in the Feywild, as far as I know. Yes. I'll never let go. But I mean, it just goes to say that there's probably a couple of locations, whether on this plane or others, that are similarly important in terms of what they contain. So maybe just following those threads of, you know, looking at any, we can cross-reference some of the tales that Basil was saying, look in books about the Feywild, see if any of, you know, those myths might lead us down the right track, but keeping an eye out for any mention of supreme power, things that might not say immortality, but indicate that. That's how myths work, right?
We
They're all
can
about
include synonyms in the search.
you have to get a little bit symbolic with things. That's how these stories get passed
I
down.
knew a really old turtle.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
he was
cool.
immortal,
Yeah.
but
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
thing.
yeah.
I'd believe anything, really.
But I'm sure, Harmony, that there has to be extensive research on the Feywild here, right? I mean, it's so close by. The veil here is so thin between it and the Fey. So, let's just kind of put our nose to the books and see what we find out.
Yeah. We'll do maybe some of our own research first, and then later today we can go talk to Professor Veyron and
Yeah.
and see if she'll tell us anything else if she even knew much more about this place. That
Of the items that we found, people want any particular ones?
Oh yeah, we found a bunch of stuff. So
ooh.
we found a ring that has some like Fey stuff, which Hops has right now.
Face stuff. Okay.
We found
Some
a
slippers?
stone. It's like a ruby. It kind of floats around you, adds a little bit of like protection.
Did you want to take that?
Yeah, if no one else, I tend to throw myself in there. So
Yeah.
probably,
That's smart. Yeah.
It's a rock.
and it is a rock.
Yeah.
You rock the rocks.
Yeah, so I don't know who. I think it was still in Sledge. So, it
Like
takes
it.
an action, a bonus action, I need to deploy it,
Okay.
and then it gives you +1. It floats around you. So it gives you +1.
Hello, friend.
I don't know if you need
That's a
an
tune,
action
right?
to. I don't know if
that
you need
is
an
a tune.
action
Yeah,
that's
to
why-
activate it. I think
I-
activating it is another little sub thing too. I think there's
You
two
know that-
actions.
I think.
Is there?
I don't
I
know.
thought
I
it
couldn't,
was
I couldn't
slow
figure it out
action.
based off of what. Yeah, I didn't know if it was a constant because it was
I
attuned.
think you just once you have it, you have to attune to it, and then you can just deploy it as an action,
Mhm.
and then it gives.
Does it only last?
Well,
a
there's
certain
this
amount of
whole other
time?
thing that's like, oh, it has like an AC of 25
That's
hit
if someone
points.
wants to
and-
grab it from.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it floats around you, and so if
Oh, that's
someone
cool.
tries to grab it out of the air, they have to make a hit against
Oh, that's
its
cool.
AC.
Oh.
But if no one tries that,
Just do it at the start of the day.
It just stays there.
Yeah,
stays
great.
there. And
That's
you get
clever.
+1.
So it's like kind of risky that it's like if you
How?
always keep it out.
yeah, someone,
Chance
someone,
someone-
someone
yeah, yeah.
try and
Okay.
It's got a
snatch-
high AC because it's really small and everything.
Yeah, yeah,
someone
yeah.
try and
Yeah.
snatch
Okay.
it away
Okay,
from you.
cool.
Basically.
That's fun.
Like try and grapple it off.
Yeah.
But I don't really have any
Oh,
attunement
it's just
slots
a-
right
it's
now.
going around your
I've
head,
had to
that's
give
what
up
it
one
is.
for that item is. It's either
Maybe
that
not
or the
the
death
top
mark
one.
Yeah,
dagger.
the
I
best-
think
the
I
best
prefer the death mark
It's like half
dagger.
one.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else wants that.
The spirit gum is wearing off.
You can have it.
I mean, I still have that one, but I'd be prepared to trade that for another item. So that's one that I haven't only used it one time.
I
What
just
does he
want
do
the
again?
horn.
That's the one that you can mark someone and then you know where they are.
Right. Okay.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I think you should have the powder. That sounds
Yeah.
real
I
smart.
think I like the
Oh
horn.
yeah.
Then there were these
And powder
slippers that give also attunement, advantage on stealth, make you completely silent but leave this little trace of silvery glitter behind. So does anyone?
And you're the only one that wears shoes.
Yeah, they were too small for my feet.
Would you look at that?
do you
Well,
want those?
Sure.
So that is the Fey Step slippers.
Ooh. That's,
And then the other one was the
They're
ring.
so
Who had
cute.
the ring? Did you?
I'm gonna take the ring.
you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
the ring? Okay. All right. So that's everything that we found.
I just like screw it onto some like random like bolt that's like sticking out of my leg and just geek, 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 and just like put the ring on there, and then just like invisible. And then
It just becomes like a
That's
a
washer
little like
on
bling
there.
just like on the leg. Yeah.
That's great. I like that.
Mhm.
What about your bell and stuff? Do they do anything cool?
yeah. So this earring, see, it looks like a treble clef, and
It's very nice.
if I like hear any sound while I'm wearing it, I can recreate that note. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And then I have this bell, and what is it? I can basically, you know, if any of you have just randomly, due to no fault of your own, happen to fail any sort of test, or maybe like you're just not quite strong enough or smart, had enough wherewithal to withstand some sort of spell effect, it could give you one extra chance, you know, really quick. If I just like ring the bell for you, you could try again really quick, and I'm sure you'd get it the second time.
Yeah. I mean,
It sounds like it has its advantages.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's like kind of like out of turn order. You can like try to redo a save that you failed,
Wow.
but it's still the same DC, but you just get to like try again
try again.
to like shake off.
That's a
some
nice
of
one.
the-
Okay. Cool.
Neat.
Do you need to expend like a reaction to do that, or is it just?
It's my action.
Oh, okay.
But out of turn is nice.
Yeah.
That cuff is very interesting. We have some birds on Zonir that can do that same thing. They just you say something and they just right back after.
Maybe that's what they kind of base the magic on, and that'd be very interesting.
Well, I'm satiated from. I think Tem was just eating like a giant bowl of oatmeal or something like that. Just like plain oatmeal too. Just like really like
Of course,
porridge.
Tim eats
Yeah, just
plain
porridge.
oatmeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even any cinnamon.
Yeah,
It's
no.
Straight
I
up.
mean, he likes it, but
what the
it's like
people
you
eat.
know, I'm getting brain fuel here, right? The carbs, it's gonna, you know, we've got lots of research to do. Well, let's kind of take our steps that we need to take before we talk to Professor Varen, and then we can meet. I hope that she's not going to be too overwhelmed. Maybe we should come up with a list of questions so that we don't bombard her.
That would be smart.
What is everyone looking up in the library? Or if you're not going to the library, what do you plan on doing?
I suppose I would first do comprehend languages on myself. Ritually. Does it last for... Is it like a whole day or an hour? Oh, it's an hour, so kind of just before we start looking or something. Well, I guess I can just keep doing it because it's a ritual.
It's a
so it
ritual,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. Okay, so I'll just have that. I guess, I don't know, Tem, do you want to split up or do you want to
Sure,
kind of...
we can attack it from different angles. What if I focus on, since I was already trying to look into the treasure hoards in the heart of the ocean, I try and focus on any references to areas of great power in the Feywild, people associated with that, and then maybe you can look into other...
I can take the mythology angle, the
Yeah.
kind of fable story mythology angle.
Yeah. And maybe we both keep our eyes out for any references to other ways to get into the Feywild, too.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Riz could help with that.
And
I want to look up some courts. I don't know anything about it. It was always sunny in spring where I was, so I don't know anything different. So it'd be fun to know something different.
well, and that's probably very vital information if we're going to be going into a space that we don't necessarily know the culture of, and in the Feywild, I'm sure there's many different customs that we might not be aware of, so that would be great.
I'll look for books on for the different planes. See if I can find anything on the Feywild.
Okay.
I'll go with Basil and help him.
Yeah.
I'm not really one for research that much, so I'm going to go and see if I can find if there's a herbalist or a department of that studies plants.
Absolutely.
And then with the rest of my time, I'll just go practice my bow and sword forms.
No problem. Oh,
We can just call you when we're done.
I'm gonna need investigation checks from everyone doing research.
Do I have anything that helps me?
I know, I was
I
looking
don't
for that
think
too.
so, though.
For random kicks, can
I
I
can't even give
add
myself guidance.
just divine sense and then just try to do the same thing of like use like an arcana thing to just like see if anything like vibes towards me as I'm like flipping through things?
Absolutely.
Could I just say
like a
like
weird title like looks ominous, mean like, all right, I'll find this, or something sounds like more heartfelt, I'll be drawn towards it.
Yeah.
maybe before we all like disperse? Okay, all right. Everyone, good luck in your search. 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 And all this give guidance to everybody. Okay, hurry, go, run, start looking at a book. It'll just feel like the right one.
Very well. Alright, y'all are guided.
I got a nat 20
Yeah.
plus 2.
Okay, not bad.
Sorry, it was guidance that you...
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
It's
it's a D4.
no, 8.
Oh, the bardic inspiration. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. Inspiration, yes.
Okay, cool.
Shitty bigger.
And then let's see if you use it.
Well, still at 20.
Wait, can we
I
add
want to
something?
go-
If you use it for an ability, you can re-roll it and choose which one.
Oh,
it is.
okay. You can re-roll it if you're using
Yeah.
it for an ability check.
Alchemy /
One more.
herbalism.
That's what we can
You got one
Yeah.
more chance.
Oh, you want more? Do it.
And I want to
Two.
see if they have
Oh!
Okay, all right.
I'm just gonna.
Okay.
That's
Shit,
great.
no, I think you got higher.
Awesome.
Try and get
Oh,
more
so I did?
ingredients
Yeah.
so that you brew some more of that.
Wow,
It-
I think
figured
that
out that
we
it-
might have rubbed
even
off
though
on
it's
them
not-
if we're all doing pretty good for this library check.
Wow.
I have some
I'm
examples
so
of-
glad you all love the
You guys
library
show
as
us
much
how
as
to
we
work.
do.
They know I'm giving you any
The
guidance.
Reading
That
Rainbow
kind
theme
of
song
thing.
plays.
Let's
as we're
no
just-
reading is so fun.
They may
Set
not.
us as task,
That's-
and you gave me
that's
head
what
pats.
I'm
I'm
doing. And if
on
I
it. Let's
draw a
go.
blank, I'll just go
The best motivator.
Yeah.
Excellent.
archery and
Practice.
spar with whoever's sparring.
No problem.
Update. I have 27.
27.
26.
with a nat 20.
Ooh, and
Nice.
26,
24.
24. Jesus.
Well, also
Level
24.
5,
Hey!
24.
18.
8.
It's reading the same
You were
book
too
numbers
worried about
together.
our
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
B minus.
You were corralling us and you were distracted.
Okay.
Nik-Nak and I would like to use our duet to find a book.
Yeah.
And I did.
Oh yeah, is Riz like around with us also?
Yeah, he's kind of lingering and he's playing like kind of gopher and library assistant. Where he'll like kind of go around to each little group and like if he
After I
something-
kind of like inspire and send everyone else off, can I like pull like before he kind of goes off?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, what do you
I know you hate books, but you're smart. I'm sure you can find it. But can you maybe look for something? Just I don't know if there'd be a book on it yet, but just area the somewhere in the northwest of the Republic. I think there's like rumors of like maybe look for something like mountain cave systems. If there's like things about plains, maybe like my father thinks that there's an area up there where the barrier between the plains is thin, and I think he's up there trying to research it. But if we can, he didn't obviously describe where it is in his letter that he wrote me. But if we can find where that is, maybe he found something and we could use it to get to the Feywild, so that we don't have to make a deal with your patron or your family or anything.
All right. I mean, for sure. Yeah, not family, just the patron.
Okay.
And it's fine. I have a pretty good feeling of whatever cost will be on my part. It's just sort of like a gamble for you guys.
Well, what would she do to you?
I just move up and down the line.
What does that mean?
Don't worry about it.
Can I guess I don't know insight, but like do I have any sort of inkling of what moving up and down the line? Like, what is the line? What he means by that?
Yeah, give me an insight check with advantage. I'll give you that for sure.
18.
18. His definite reaction is sort of, it's the kind of reaction that you have once you've accepted the fact that you've got the parking ticket and you're gonna have to pay for it. It's gonna be an inconvenience and it's gonna suck, but you know what? It has to happen, and that's just how life moves on. He has very much that attitude about this patron deal, that he knows that whatever price, whatever moving up and down the line is definitely a pricey cost for him, but he's sort of kind of blasé about it, if only because he knows that it has to happen at some point in time.
Radical acceptance is so powerful. It's so powerful.
Yeah, he definitely uses a lot of that. In terms of moving up and down the line, I'll say that you do recall that the particular patronage that Riz is a part of, he is a follower, and he will also, because you asked for it, he will specify
that's true.
his patron. Her name is Sarastra, Sarastra. Her full title is Her Celestial and Royal Majesty, Sarastra Aestrum, Queen of Night and Magic, Duchess of the Heavens, Mistress of Air and Darkness, Lady of the Summer Palace, Bride of Shadows,
Yes.
and Ruler of the Unseelie Court.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
The very same.
Oh yeah.
And you know
That all
that
sounds familiar now.
you remember that. With that actually, give me a history check real quick.
16.
16. Alright.
Historical.
You remember that Riz at one point told you that essentially the Queen of Night and Magic, his patron, basically all of her warlock patrons are added to the line of succession to be the new queen. And being the queen of the Unseelie Court, she has, across all planes, thousands of enemies that have to. Basically, she has enough magic where that she will only be defeated if you defeat everyone in the line. And Riz is somewhere in that line. And they have to be defeated in order, so he will either move up or down, depending on how good he behaves.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
So you imagine that if he has to pay a price, he will move down the line. And puts him like closer to danger. But there's no telling of how long that line is.
Yeah. Well, Riz, I know how badly you want to be queen, so I'm not gonna.
Queen of Night and Magic.
And
My own court.
how great would would it be if my best friend was the queen of air and darkness and night and magic and the unseelie?
There's a good ring to it.
So, obviously, that's our last resort.
I mean, that's
but-
just the cost for me. She will also take something from you guys too. Again, it will be
don't-
fair.
I don't
but
love
it
that
will
idea.
be whatever she kind of decides. She has she's got a interesting sense of humor.
I'm assuming we probably wouldn't be able to know the price before we accept the deal.
No, you just sort of go in and she will take that, and then you will be on your way. But she can basically send you anywhere you want to go. You pick a place in the Feywild, she'll send you there.
Well, that is absolutely our last option if we can help it. So if you can find anything about maybe a place in the Republic where at least a cave system or something, if not an area where there's rumored to be maybe the presence of a lot of beings from other planes, if they seem to be concentrated, we can find a location or maybe an actual reference to somewhere where the planes are thin in the Republic. That's another option. If you have any tips, maybe we can sneak back into the lemon drop.
It's a possibility.
I didn't think I'd ever be the one saying this, but I'm sure that it wouldn't be that hard to just sneak back in. I think we could do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Basil can even be invisible for a day now or something like that. So that's one person.
And you
off
were
the-
making portals from.
Well, we still have to get kind of close. We'd have to sneak close enough, but I could just, kind of boop us down to in front of the portal. We could literally just walk through my portal straight through into the Feywild portal. But
That's the thing. That door went to 4 different other doors. Should I look into where those doors go?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I knew you were smart.
I graduated, didn't I?
I know. I knew you would.
He's got an insight check. He rolled a 3, so he's like.
Best friend. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm also out of inspiration, so
like I need it.
you're gonna have to raw dog this one.
Oh, he's okay.
There you go. All right.
17.
I'm going to the mythology section. Bye.
For our Nat 20 and for Zakkai, especially here at this school, there's no shortage of information on kind of the planes. You do see that there is a lot of published research papers and books and stuff like that. A lot of it has to do with the Feywild because of just the proximity and the fact that this country has Feywild portals opening up all over the place randomly, so they have a very close relationship with it. Are you pushing your search out to other planes?
Yeah. I'm also looking for information on the Earth plane. See if there are any who might maybe rule over of this place, or what significant figures have gone there and returned, and what their accounts have been.
I'll say you find a couple of things. In terms of rulership or ownership, the other planes seem to, especially the elemental ones, I'll say that your research finds that a lot of the elemental planes are kind of very much that. They're wild and there's not a lot of established civilization. There are, but certainly not as much. It's more kind of just wild, untamed, endless array of respect for the Earth plane. Just it's described as endless caves, tunnels, massive mountains made out of diamond, or it's just a single mountain where just entirely from top to bottom is just a solid diamond. There's there are a few places that actually do have names that you get to. There is a location called the Iron Crucible, the Pale River, Sandfall, and the Great Dismal Delve.
Okay. And I just see these things referenced. There's not any little blurb about them.
Primarily just referenced.
Okay.
There's lists of like inhabitants that you do recognize. You recognize obviously that there's plenty of elementals that call that place home. Apparently, things like dragons, specifically copper dragons, call the plane of Earth home. Gargoyles, Dao, Jinn or Genie, basilisks. Also, a certain race of dwarves also come and hail from the plane of Earth, as well as, and it is referenced only once or twice, but Janazi are listed as sort of like in a sort of like historical blurb that you're like barely keeping yourself awake for and like read through it. You do see like there's a small passage about how like, and over the years through like various forms of interwoven like relations between the plane of Earth and the material plane, Jinn and humans had Janazi offspring, and they exist now. It's sort of kind of like as much as like information as you get.
Gotcha. Okay. Great. Lot more questions.
Harmony, you're looking for more of the mythological kind of look to it. Specifically about what?
It was, I guess, like a guardian / guardian of like powerful artifacty things, or a collection, or like a horde, something kind of like along those lines, either like a person or a creature.
Yeah, it was 18 that you rolled? There are 3 notable kind of like things that you come across. There is a location that rings bells to you because Tem spoke of it earlier in the day. There is a place called the Heart of the Ocean, which is a kind of like rumored, like it may not exist, sort of like hidden vault of all manner of like treasures and gifts from the gods and powerful artifacts deemed too dangerous for mortal hands to wield. That anything like that is locked away in the heart of the ocean. But it's sort of like, from what you read, very like old fable. Like it may not exist. You also come across stories of someone that a lot of warlocks call their patron, called the Curator. But they are unrelated to the Feywild, apparently. They are a sort of like nebulous being that calls the astral plane home, and they kind of hold a massive collection, and they try to collect everything, of one thing of everything from every plane.
Okay.
Gosh,
And finally, you. I'll say the last bit of information is less specific in terms of like you don't get like a specific name or place, but there's plenty of references to powerful creatures and archfey in the Feywild that do pride themselves on like having their version of the shiny thing. And
So
like there's a lot of pride in the sense of like in the higher courts and in the Feywild, much like like the pebble and the penguin. There's like the birds or the creatures find that one shiny thing, and that is the jewel in their crown. It's the thing that they are most proud of, and they really elevate their singular thing. So there's a few options basically, and you imagine if something called the Shard of Immortality or a Fragment of Immortality is probably collected or owned by someone of a higher rank in the Feywild. Tem, yours was 26,
26,
and you were more.
I was more looking for like those like stories about those objects of power. So like, yes, the word Fragment of Immortality, but also like the references to the shiny things, to that, and also in doing so, like it within my search, powerful like deity items, kind of also like any references to the kindred weft that I can find, anything that kind of goes beyond the normal levels of like human power to see if that, expanding that search finds us any leads in the Feywild or otherwise.
I will say that you do, especially with a roll that high, do find mention of a an artifact that at one point was gifted from the gods to mortals as basically a it's only referenced to same way as like when the gods gifted man fire. There was like it was also gifted immortality, just full stop. And then it's sort of just immortality is just referenced as almost just a noun from then on as an object. There is with that higher roll, you will see that there is a like folk tale basically that says that at one point a great battle happened and someone who was gifted that immortality it's only like mentioned in the book as lost it and it was shattered and broken upon the rocks and scattered to all corners of like the plains, and whoever is lucky enough to find them and reassemble them is once again granted that gifted immortality from the gods.
It specifically says like multiple and have to be reassembled, brought back together. Gotcha. That's pretty
good. In terms of, I will say that in terms of like researching the Kindred Weft, you find nothing that you do not already know.
Okay, yeah. Just kind of whatever small asides people might, drop into a myth every now and again. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's mostly what I was focused on. Does it say with just about like when things got shattered, they went everywhere, or does it specifically reference just the Feywild or anything like that, or it just says they went
all across the plain?
Okay.
For Basil and Nik-Nak, you kind of searched together. What are you looking for specifically?
I mentioned like kind of like us being like the young adults that we are, and probably our reading level of kids books, we might be going slightly towards like the kids section. But I imagine like we're trying to maybe flip through, like that beginning scenes of like Elf, where it's like, oh, he has to like cross all of these things, and then he's in New York, or like the Barbie movie where they're like they take a bike thing and then they're in Barbie world. Like I think we're trying to find the Terragia sense of like, oh, you go through these things and these like weird vague note points, and then you're in the Feywild sort of thing, like finding that sort of like story point or kind of like little points of like, go through all these weird things and through this woods and through this thing, and then you're in the winter court or in this fall court, like those sort of like beats.
Gotcha. I will say that you will find it was 20.
Yeah, 24 with 2 plus.
In your research, that you find that there's no sort of information about like specifically portals to and from the Fae here. So you, children's book or not, you get like an overwhelming amount of information. A lot of it is academic in sense of like it's a lot of like research and theory. So that's all right. There's a lot of like kind of like storybook and that kind of stuff that you're looking into. That's specifically a lot of mentions of portals. Very little mention of portals to the Fae. Mostly portals from the Fae. A lot of it looks like it's easier to get from the Fae to here than it is to get back.
Okay.
There's stories of a lot of it is referencing portals that are very temporary or incomplete or shattered or broken, because the portals that kind of have appeared all over the dynasty are sporadic, quick, and will let in just like a handful of people or just one monster, and then we'll just close up after that. There's talks of some portals that have been like established and remain open. A lot of it that is involves high level of magic, like planar travel and plane shift, those kind of spells, and a lot of talk about high-ranking archfey that are able to kind of like travel back and forth freely.
We're just kind of like showing each other the books and be like, what do you think of this thing? And we're just like probably tossing it back and forth like dudes like, no, this looks useless.
I actually can read pretty well, so if he throws back a book that maybe looks too advanced, I'll look through it just quickly and be like, oh no, he's right, that sucks. Good instincts, no, that one sucks too.
And then it bounces off a sledgehog. He pretends to read it, and then he tosses it behind him.
If we are still looking and I have time, I would actually like to try and look for something else in the library.
Yeah.
And I will re-roll if I have to.
Sure.
But I want to look for more technical books, specifically books that talk about like arcanium technology, and specifically something like merging technology and magic. My whole sort of,
Absolutely. Give me another investigation check.
It's the Nik-Nak shtick right there.
Yeah. And I guess, specifically to anything that might have to do with like aerodynamics. So that's a 25.
25. Ooh, 25. There's only like a disappointingly like small like handful of books that have to do with technology. It seems that the dynasty, the whole dynasty's vibe in terms of like this new kind of like technology that's coming into power, they see it as a passing fad, as like magic will always be superior. But there is like a few like books like, oh, these newfangled like things the kids are using today. I will say in terms of aerodynamics, you do find a book on airships.
Okay.
That kind of like go over it's like a, not like intro to airships, like how it kind of works, and that doesn't go into like how you build an engine or whatever,
Right,
but it does go into like the aerodynamic aspects.
Like the
of
sort of theory.
Lift and drag.
Yeah.
Okay. If I find that book, I'll take a look around, and if no one's looking, I'll slip it into the craftsman's bag.
Goes in. There is plenty of research on Arcanium that you do find. A lot of it is just kind of a lot of the same about it. A lot of theory about how it's just basically the crystallization, the mineral version of whatever magic is here. That's sort of like
A lot of what I kind of already know.
Kind of what you already know. There is a more kind of like recent history book that you do find that does talk about the integration of Arcanium into technological things that kind of like are able to, how it's stripped of its magical abilities to become a potent fuel. And one of the pioneering champions of like this technological aspect is a man named Obadiah Finkton, a renowned technological genius who basically is able to kind of use Arcanium to fuel all assortment of inventions. He's responsible for the auto carriage, and he's responsible for a lot of airships and development of technology and stuff like that. There's talk, and you even find like a couple of like essentially the Terragia version of newspaper clippings of him like discussing big plans for an Arcanium engine and things that like are able to a lot of the exact opposite of what the Silva Dynasty believes, where Finkton's kind of approach is that technology and using technologies to kind of like siphon magic away from magic is the way of the future.
There's like, are there any like pictures of him in the book?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna run my hand across like Sledgehog in a particularly greasy area. Just start doing little mustaches.
He already has a mustache.
I'm trying to erase it. Scratch it off.
You just see him, kind of like every single photo you've ever seen of this man, no matter what you know about him or what you've experienced, he always looks just the right amount of smug, where he knows just a little bit more than you do. Just that kind of like smug looking up at you, always wearing like, ironically kind of like how you dressed up, tall stovepipe hat, very thin, kind of almost like Gomez Adams mustache that kind of curls up at the end. Industrialist, kind of very like brown suit, lots of brown leathers and straps, goggles on the. It looks like a kind of like steampunk inventor, exactly how you kind of imagine.
You're saying, I've got a hat now too. Just put it back. Actually, I'll put it like somewhere that no one would want to find. Like I'll put it like in a very inconvenient to like reach spot. I'm just gonna head back to Basil.
Anara. This school definitely 100% has sort of like a botany area. There's a large kind of greenhouse towards the back of the school that you eventually stumble your way into. There is an attendant there. Actually, a smattering of them, but you do see that the school is the greenhouse is primarily staffed by dryads, a lot of like more kind of nature-tuned creatures here. A few satyrs, a few fairies, kind of like buzz around in the air. There is a kind of like smaller satyr woman who kind of like trots her way up to you, wearing a little like kind of like coat with thick kind of gloves on, and she's handling this very spiny, like almost looks like a seed pod or whatever. Kind of runs up to you, and she's like, "If you're looking for any more sperm throwers, this is our last one."
No.
What?
But what does it do?
Oh, be very careful. These seed pods, if they are hit or receive a certain amount of pressure, they will pop, and the seeds inside the
Take a
pods
couple
are
steps back.
quite sharp.
You have a good
Sharp.
grip on that.
Not sharp.
Interesting. I was interested actually in a plant native to my homeland, and I wondered if you are familiar with it, and whether either you may grow it or
Is
no.
the dynasty not your homeland?
No, I'm from the Republic.
Then I have questions for you. She immediately tries to turn the situation around where, like, you came to ask questions,
Yeah.
That way.
now she is asking questions, where she's like, now, do you have the Purple Ridge Snapdragon in the mountainous regions in your part of the world? And she
I
immediately starts
do
going
my
over.
best to answer the questions, such as I mean, whether the names are the same or not, I don't know. She describes the plants, I can say whether we have them or not.
Alright.
And once I've done that for a bit, humor her.
Yeah.
Get on. Try and get
Eventually
on
try
her
to
side,
push her way to the purpose of your visit.
Yeah, and then when there's a pause, if she seems satisfied with my answers, I'll pull out.
Oh,
from
yes,
the
I'm
pouch.
so sorry. You had a question.
I did, yeah. So I'll pull out from the pouch the little leaves of the Camilla hexanomica plant and show her and say, "Is this a plant you're familiar with? Do you have this in this area at all?"
We not here, but I have seen in the dynasty before. There is the Sea of Flowers to the south. I mean, that's gotta have everything grows there.
Everything goes there.
I think it's the Sea of Flowers. Judging by the stem of it, it definitely seems to be a hardier type of plant. I would imagine for colder climates, higher elevation.
I grew up near the mountains, and
Yes.
they grew in the grounds near where I trained. But you can keep the sample. You may be able to get some seeds from it and perhaps grow it here. But you don't have any of this plant here.
I don't have any of myself here. No.
Where is the Sea of Flowers compared to here?
It is to the southeast of here.
A long way?
A few days travel, perhaps. Well, I mean, the Sea of Flowers itself is miles wide, but the edge of it is probably a few days' journey here, maybe 3-4 days.
Okay. Probably too far for me and my friends to reach, but thank you. Very helpful indeed.
Of course.
And happy to answer any more questions you have about the.
I have so many. She like pulls out a small like list of like, all right, now
I'll humor
dandelions.
chat with her as long as she wants. Since I hate research, so I'll just chat to the plant lady.
Riz is gonna make his own research roll.
Research.
Eventually, he comes back with basically he's kind of like jotted down like a paragraph for each of the 4 locations that were on the door. So he's like, well, if you want to know, so the Boar Grove, it's a wooded area between the summer and autumn courts. Says there's a lot of dangerous creatures that live there. It's often used as a battleground in disputes between the Seelie and Unseelie court. Neighbors a lot of like peaceful towns and kind of areas in the summer court. The city memorial, it's basically as close to a metropolitan city as you're gonna get in the Feywild. Don't know much about them, but there's a lot of talk about how they harvest a lot of like gemstones and like precious stones from the volcanic geothermic vents that are near that city. Also, they were, I don't know if it means anything, but the city was won from the Seelie court in a game of chance that was played by Queen Tatiana from the Summer Court and the Moonlit King from the Fall Court. But he is serving a sentence for his crimes against this unseelie right now. So City Memorial is under the rulership of Dow Genie at the moment. Mount Fondant is basically you can eat it. That is a whole land of stuff it's in the Winter Court.
It's all edible?
Yeah, Mount Fondant. At least that's what it says. It says that this place is known for its peppermint forests, lemonade rivers, jawbreaker mines, and flesh-eating gingerbread gnomes.
Oh, Basil will love that. It's located where?
The Winter Court.
Okay.
They're all in the
Moonlit
Unseelie,
King?
which is
Or is that Moonlit King the Summer Court?
Moonlit King of the Winter Court. But he is currently serving a sentence for his crimes against the Unseelie Court, so his city is being ruled in his stead. There's a lot of drama in the Feywild. There's a lot of switching sides and all manner of people moving around.
So if the Winter King is a king of the Winter Court, is the Queen Queen Sarastra, is she queen of the Autumn Court? Or is she queen of all the of both the Unseelie courts? Is she just everybody? Queen of everyone?
Her ascension was kind of complicated. She was a lady of the Summer Court who was wronged, betrayed. She's kind of vague on the details. Went over to the Unseelie Court, rose up the ranks. She's not going to tell me how she got there, but she did. And now she's queen of the Unseelie Court in total.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the forest?
The Marquis's forest
Yeah.
it's in the Autumn Court. It's a forest of perpetual autumn, supposed to be real pretty. It's ruled over by Gelda, the Witch Queen, and though it's technically part of the Unseelie Court, it is considered a neutral zone for a lot of political disputes. So there's that. It sounds like it would be like the path of least resistance. And then, or we could also go through the Sapphire Wood, where, Queen kind of rules it.
The Sapphire Wood is in the Feywild? Or
it's sort of like the hallway that you take from our plane to the Fey, but she can kind of control where it will lead out, so we can just basically pick where we want to go, and she'll put us there.
Is there ever, does our end of the hallway only open when she wills it, or does it sometimes exist and she can move it?
Oh, I mean, I just have to go. I have to just talk to her.
Do you have to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It doesn't just it's not just sometimes, it's just a doorway sometimes, and if she's not paying attention, it's just there?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, the only way I know how to get there is to call her.
That makes sense. That's fine. Just thought I would ask. Thanks, Riz. Nice job.
I am smart. I do things.
I know you're smart. You graduated.
Yeah.
And I knew you would.
Exactly.
Did you find anything out about the caves in Candor?
A little bit. I'll brief you later.
Okay.
So
Tem comes back in with an armful of papers and starts to. Okay, well, how was your search?
Oh, we're allowed to take them?
Oh, I'm not
I'll have
taking.
to go back.
I mean, they'll go back to the stacks, but this is what I've gathered information-wise to help guide the story of what I found.
I didn't find too much. It seems like kind of the strongest lead was kind of what you already know about the heart of the ocean. And that, I guess it's just known to be a place where just items that are too powerful or dangerous are just, put there and hidden away. The only other things I found is just there's a patron in the astral plane called the Curator that apparently likes to collect things, but that doesn't really seem like what we're looking for. I feel like we're looking for someone specifically tied to the Fey realm. And just, other things of just different cultures within the Fey of creatures and societies that have maybe one item that they kind of revere or protect, but that didn't seem quite what we were looking for either. So not too much, honestly, that I found.
No, that actually seems to make sense. And then Tem takes a blackboard over, flips it over, and there's the strings on the full like serial killer mapping out all of the clues. At the center it says fragments of immortality. And he goes, okay, so from what you said, which seems to align with this here, and then like the whole story of the like giant battle in like big letters, immortality gifted from gods, shattered, and then little pieces going like heart of the ocean, and then what was it, the collector?
The curator.
The curator. Tem rapidly writes down the curator, boom, pins it to the board. And then Feywild is like its whole other separate section there. Basically presents all this information. So it seems like we have multiple places that might have one of these, and our vampire friend might have just latched on to one of them that happens to be in the Feywild. Because it seems like he can't maybe do much with one. I'm sure it is powerful, but for what I was gathering from these different texts, it seems like this is something that has to be collected all together in order to bring someone to that level of immortality.
That makes sense. You wouldn't have a fragment without other fragments
More
to
of
make
them,
the whole.
right?
Okay.
Exactly. So
Okay.
while this is bad that he's going after it, I mean, this might be something he's been working on for a while, tracking one down so that he could find it to then move on to the next one. But
At least it gives us a longer timeline to work with, to some extent.
But it
Although
does
we don't
seem-
want him to find this one. But
No, of course. No, we're still going to try and stop him. But it does seem like there's more to this than just a simple tracking one thing down and dealing with that.
Okay. Maybe we should have also looked up, like, the best way to stop a vampire. But
Dang
we could, well, we know, sunlight and...
Yeah. Although who knows how things might affect vampirism in the Feywild too. It's a complicated question, I'm sure. But I think that, especially looking towards what his plan is, who knows if it's for him, for someone else, but it's not good if this gets into his hands.
That's true. Do we remember, did it seem like he had, the Kuvo, did it seem like he had a class from when I was watching him? I know he had tattoos.
Yeah, a lot of like different like kind of very tribal looking tattoos.
I don't think I
terms
saw
of-
him do like magic.
No, he seemed very much more of kind of like a physical kind of fighter, especially like given his size, and he used whatever his ability was to like suck the blood out of a creature and then turn it into a
Insanguinate.
spear that he
Into
can
a
throw.
melee weapon.
Yeah.
So he seems a bit more like a martial type.
Although, what if he's a warlock and he's collecting them for his patron, and his patron's evil and wants to take over the world, and he's gonna be the right hand? Oh, I'm so tired of warlocks, Tem. I'm so tired of it.
Well, I
Hey,
can see why you chose
It's like
a different
it's like
path.
it's taunting me. And no offense, Riz.
It's I mean I sympathize a bit with what you go through. I have a deity of my own that's a bit out of reach sometimes, but doesn't ask nearly as much of me as your patron must. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's fine. It's trade-offs, right?
Right.
Distant, far away, God that you can't talk to. I can talk to mine, and I can get to the Feywild like that. But you can do stuff that I can't do, like heal people and make really nice outfits.
It's true. It's true.
Truly a
It's
gift.
true.
The gods.
Yes.
They wear really nice outfits.
But did you two find anything?
I learned it's easier getting out than in. That's about it.
Yes, that's what I was actually thinking was if your patron can get us in, can she also get us out when we're done? If that's the option that we take? Because if so, that might be worth the risk or the cost. Because there's no guarantee getting out either.
Right.
That's true.
I don't know.
All right.
It's a lot. We should maybe let's check in on Veyron now that we have a little bit more wherewithal of the bigger picture, and she can fill in some of those smaller details.
Okay.
Maybe she knows if this vampire guy already has one of these pieces, or if this is his first.
Yeah, if anything, maybe we just get in front of him and then beat him to the next piece. Then he can't get anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to go to the Feywild at all. And then Riz and all of us, we wouldn't have to make some bad deal with your patron.
That's fine.
I don't really love the idea of losing something or making some sort of it's not going to be good, whatever we have to do.
No, certainly not.
It's part of this deal.
But what if this fragment of immortality still grants him some kind of power and he hurts people?
No, I know. We
That's
can't
what I'm
really let
thinking.
him have it, but we're going to have some sort of plan. I don't think even all of us together might not be enough to defeat him. And apparently whoever is guarding the fragment in the Feywild now is very powerful. So if anything, I think our chances are better if we are able to get there soon enough to warn them or help them or something like that.
We could ally ourselves with the collector, it was called?
Curator.
That was just that was an astral being. Unrelated, I think, to what
From the Fae.
what this all is. It was just, I was just, more looking up mythological sort of parallel stories, seeing if they would lead anywhere.
It seems to me that they may all have some connection, at least in terms of being related to powerful objects, which these fragments certainly are. So there's a chance, not maybe the most likely, but
It seems like the most concrete thing we have to go on is that there's someone in the Feywild protecting this fragment of immortality, and Veyron knows probably more than Veyron knows more than us, and maybe she'll help us. And we need to find a way to get there, preferably without making a deal with the Queen of the Unseelie, who will most assuredly take stuff from us that we don't want her to take.
Yeah, if we can avoid that.
We don't even have that much gold.
She's nice. I want to stipulate that. Just heads up. I mean, she's nice to me. So, she'll be nice to you guys.
nice is different than good.
That's true.
And nice is different than kind.
That's true.
She might see it fit to take away things that we really value.
She's on the
And do it with a smile.
kinder side to me. I mean, she's always really great. A bit intense, but she's
Okay.
like I said. She's never. I've never gotten okay. I was about to say I never got a bad deal out of her, but being in the line sort of sucks. But other than that, other than being in a line of mysterious death happening at any moment,
What?
the other one's been great.
Did she ever take anything from you?
No.
Oh.
I'm sort of in a line of succession to be Queen of Night and Magic, but everyone's kind of hunting them all down all times.
Oh. Okay.
I mean,
Is that normal?
not everyone. I mean,
Not everyone, not everyone. It's like-
only the occasional. I'm sure just the occasional person who thinks they're strong enough to overtake her or something like that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you're fine.
I mean,
So you just have to be stronger than the person ahead of you too? Can you just challenge them and get ahead of them?
I could.
Do you know who's ahead of you?
Nope.
How do you find out who's ahead of you? How would someone else know who's in the line?
I'm pretty sure only she knows the line.
Then how do you know who to beat to get to her?
I mean, I guess I would have to just find all the other ones and just kill them all. That's sort
Face
of the
stuff
point.
is tricky.
That's sort of like.
I mean,
that's the
it kind of
whole
sounds
game.
like what
Music
I've known
is
as,
way
as
easier.
politics as usual, unfortunately.
I mean,
Yeah.
why do you think I majored in Fey law? Is trying to figure this whole fucking thing out. Because not only does she have her own enemies trying to hunt us all down, all of us are trying to get more powerful and fighting each other up. So it's kind of like a fun little game for her and sort of life or death for us.
Yeah.
But otherwise,
Sounds
stressful.
super cool.
like an awful abuse of power.
Not a fun game.
The lemon drop is starting to look real nice.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
think that might be a
Maybe
more
we
reasonable
return the gems
solution.
and
Oh,
pay
look,
our
we
way back
found
in.
these.
But
We
gems.
happened to find them, and then we can
gems.
get back in.
Well,
No,
that was
they're
my
not
other
going to let us
question,
in for
Riz.
returning something that we
I
already
know.
stole.
well, they
I
don't
know.
know we were returning it. We're just giving them new gems.
We're being good Samaritans and returning lost goods. No, it won't work.
Since you're so
think we should be
familiar
sneaky.
with, the criminal underbelly of the city, how far does the Gleefire district extend? Since we're technically not allowed back there, but if we wanted to sneak back into the lemon drop, we'd have to get kind of close before I could kind of, be able to portal us down to the other portal that's in the basement.
I mean, we're gonna have to pass through the Gleefire district to get there.
So how far across the district would we have to go? How big is it? Are there guards? Are there lookouts?
I mean, there's probably, but just act casual, walk like you belong, and you're probably gonna get where you need to go.
So I shouldn't wear the glitter shoes.
But we could take the roof. The roofs. Just hop across.
Right.
Casually.
Okay.
I looked him up and down.
Yeah.
Never
I
mind.
think people might know I'm on their roofs.
I
Risk.
could cast fly on you again.
That was fun. I
Oh.
did enjoy that.
I
Okay.
can make you fly.
Maybe you could try the
That
slippers
would
again.
work.
Oh, I could try the slippers if we stretch them
Fly
out.
with the
We
slippers?
could.
Maybe
Well,
you can make alterations sometime.
yeah, we can try and expand them.
You'd be like a fairy going across the sky, raining glitter behind you.
My ears just flapping in the wind.
Giant elephant
Yeah,
bears.
yeah.
Thames Kerbel.
Temker Bell, yes.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. That's
You're welcome.
Okay, well, and I do have a cloak that could help one of us fly.
Where's Anara? She would be the person to
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
about this.
Let's find
Well,
Anara
she's
and
so
get-
good at
and-
jumping, I
and
don't
get to
think
the
she would
professor.
need help.
But she could at least direct us down the right thing. We should all get back together.
She'll definitely tell us what
Yeah,
not to do.
Yeah.
I guess we should also just get her opinion
Yeah.
On
She needs to be
next.
involved
on
in
everything.
this.
and
Absolutely.
then let's.
Should I call her?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
what is that?
Forgot we
Oh.
had those.
This is a magical rock.
I mean, I'll
When
take
I
that back.
talk
I
to-
know what it is.
Oh.
Where did you get that?
In the box of. Actually, not even in the box of stuff, isn't it?
You said
you
wouldn't ask.
Oh.
I'm glad. I'm so glad you have that.
We found
Let's
it.
get Anara.
There we go.
Perfect.
Anara, this is Zakkai on the magical rock.
I'm sorry. I would love to tell you more
Oh, yeah.
about the
Yes,
the
absolutely.
the leaves on
Yes.
the plant.
Now,
it's
have you
Saved
ever
by the
seen
bell.
a clover with
Yes,
6 petals?
Not with 6. No. Well, 6.
Saved by the
Well,
stone.
this plant has. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry.
Your pocket is speaking to you.
Yeah.
No, this is Zakkai. I'm talking to the magical rock. So,
I can hear you.
we need you to come back to the library. We're trying to figure out next steps. We've learned a few things.
Okay, on my way.
All right.
Don't just throw it.
No.
No. It floats back into like my bag.
Oh, because you control the rock.
We all go up.
Why? Come on, guys. I wouldn't just throw
Just
it.
toss and just right
Must
in
go,
the pocket.
unfortunately, but I will come back and talk more.
A shame, but yes,
Yeah.
from one botanist to another.
Yes. Yeah.
Very
And don't
nice
forget
of
to
you.
plant this.
Yes, absolutely. As a rare specimen
Other
like
people
this,
who might need it would come and they'd have it.
we have a few very capable druid students here that need some practice.
Okay, that would be good. All right. I'll see you later.
Takes it is already like.
What, your name?
investigating it. Oh,
Got him.
So mean. You're so mean.
hold on. I have
Didn't
a
do
whole
it
staff list that I have.
Theodore Leaf.
Doubt my unpreparedness.
No, I
but
don't.
Oh, while
not.
he's looking,
I
but
do
so
not.
do the sending stones only work with each other, or can you cast sending just the spell?
No,
with
but
It's
I-
only to each
only
other.
there's
I
Just-
always
just
have.
connected to each other.
I always have sending prepared with my subclass too. So
Sick.
once that
Right.
runs out, I have sending.
And you,
And that you can
but
send
you
to
can-
anyone.
I can do to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
These just connect to
The
each
stones,
other.
yeah,
Yeah.
just send it
It's just a one-way thing. Is that
Yeah, it would just be
And
between.
technically, we should probably do it. That it's
No, I think
one
sending
message
is
one
yeah.
messages.
response, and that's
Messages.
one
You're
here.
right.
Yeah, they
Rather
can
than
they can
just
respond.
like walkie
The
talkies.
sending is the
Over.
25.
Command.
Send an answer.
Yeah, because
You
that
will
only
that.
go
You
through
will-
one
you
charge for them to
LBIDA.
talk back and forth.
Yeah.
Or is that one charge?
I feel
one
like it's
charge?
the
I think
initiating the
it's- I think it's
message
one.
because message you're
I
allowed to
think
respond.
one
Is she like a
use is
professor?
back and forth.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
So we
it's like
have
sending a telegram,
six,
but then they can
charges.
send it.
6 conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
She's sort of like the druidic professor.
Excellent. Really cool. That's
And
it.
my sending can work
And she was a
across
dryad,
planes too as well.
Oh, no,
so if we're in the Feywild,
okay,
so-
great.
so
Yeah.
I can send a message
Sage.
back if I want to,
Okay.
but there's a
Yeah.
chance that it fails.
Yeah, so I'll make my excuse
Okay.
and head
But
back
still-
Doesn't it like
to
increase
the
or
library.
something like that?
Yeah, like
something like that.
there's.
The gaggle of friends of yours
It just has
are
a
not
5%
hard to
chance,
miss.
so I
Yes,
think
kind of
And that one.
Yeah,
loudly speaking
that
to
doesn't
them.
work.
Hey everybody.
Hey.
What did you find?
So sneaky.
Sorry to leave. I not good with books.
No,
Okay.
that's okay.
No.
I didn't really learn anything.
Same neither did us.
Do we have
But
information
these
about,
two-
what's next?
Tem's got a whole chart.
Oh.
Although, I guess what we ultimately learned is that we need to
Is that
speak to
string?
Professor Veyron.
Of course it's string. Have you met me?
Pepe Kubo. Everything's going. Pepe Kubo. Pepe Kubo.
Are those color coded? Wow.
Yeah, that's a very nice professor of botany and alchemy and herbalism.
Did you ask her about your tea that you've been making?
They do not have the plant here, but I gave them some seeds so they can grow it.
Oh,
and there is a place called the Sea of Flowers south of here a few days where apparently
sounds
everything
pretty.
grows.
That sounds
but,
lovely. Yeah.
Not for us right
Mm,
now, but just good to know.
Yes. Well, we have as you
It's
can
great
see.
though. Big tourist trap.
Oh, you've been there?
Yeah, Riz speaks up like, oh yeah, I've been there a couple times.
It sounds very interesting.
Maybe we'll check it out if things quiet down and we don't die and the world doesn't end.
Do we
Riz thinks
do
it's
we have
cool to
a
bring
way
dates
into
there.
the Feywild? Do we know where
Well.
to go
Ah.
to search for?
Well, we've got options, but none of them are great, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It seems like either trying to get back to the door in the lemon drop or using Riz's patron connection.
Which would cost all of us something, and we wouldn't know what she would demand of us until after we've already agreed to the deal.
So we offer something in exchange for getting transport.
I think
to
it's
where we
more
would go.
that if she grants us the transport, she will demand something of us in return, and we kind of don't have a say in what it is.
Do we know where in the Feywild we have to go?
You know, we didn't find that, and so I think
Well, he went through the door, so it's one of those four places.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's near.
Does
That's
anyone
one was
remember
the
which
door
one?
Oh, yeah. Did anyone change?
Yeah, what was it?
It?
I
On-
think I remember asking
What it was
what
left
it
on?
was on when
Mm.
we looked.
I
But
feel like
didn't
yes.
write it. Because I was the closest one to the door because I was trying to grapple.
That is true, and I do remember you asking.
Yeah, like when. So I remember looking at the door. I didn't write it down, so I don't know if I actually.
Or if it at least like visually described what it looked like through the door.
I know it wasn't the Burrow Grove,
Right.
so
Definitely wasn't Fonda Mountain. Right?
I know
I
that.
don't think that was an option. But I think Nik-Nak's correct.
Wasn't that a place, the Fonda?
Like, yeah,
There's a place, but I don't think it was on the
Not
door.
right.
That's
Yeah.
all-
it-
yeah.
Or
I think
was it on the
the
door?
fight started like immediately.
Yeah, I think the four
It was
places
pretty
you
close.
researched were
Yeah.
the ones that were on the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do I
okay.
remember?
I think so.
Also, you do remember. Actually, we'll make it that easy. Give me a history check.
Yeah.
It's not a high usage.
Also, Veyron did
Past
tell me
life.
she doesn't know who
Doesn't
was
matter.
protecting
Might
the fragment, but
What is my history?
maybe
Zero.
we can at least
Flat.
ask
Yeah,
her
it's
for
like
more
intelligence,
information about the
no.
locations and
I was also thinking if this person's
I'll-
job is to
I'll
protect.
kind of like my eyes will glaze over a second. And I'll kind of call in on a memory and try and channel the memory of one of the former monks of the order
Absolutely.
to help with this check.
I suppose if we've short rested by now, I'll
17.
get my
17.
inspiration back.
Yeah.
You
I
do
would think
remember that the when you
Guess it's
turned the
not my
knob and
call.
opened the door, the little window said City Memorial.
So I think I remember it being on that setting, but we quickly looked at the others too. But nothing that in your research told us anything different.
There wasn't really too much concrete that we found.
Yeah, it's mostly myths and legends and hearsay.
And from what we learned from, I technically I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know this, but I assume you've updated me on what you learned
Yeah.
from Riz. And,
Yeah.
That's perfect.
and so I guess Riz could pipe up as well. Like that seems also to be a city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More people, more clues perhaps than these other more rural locations. Perhaps that's a good starting place as any if we don't have a better lead.
Yeah.
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 That's
Even
true.
if you went somewhere else from there, there's bound to be a trail of some kind.
Maybe we're
And-
asking the wrong people on the wrong side the questions that we need answers to.
Yeah.
I'll
Right.
also play. I'll also play.
Don't
Nine
say
Hells
it.
Advocate.
Oh.
If if you guys are gonna go through a door controlled by the Glitz and Glower, the other side of that door is also gonna be controlled by the Glitz and Glower.
I was about to ask, does your patron or can your patron take us to a particular place? Or
Anywhere
does-
you want.
So we could go.
Directly to the collector.
It's just gonna cost all of us.
Yeah.
Some amount that we don't know we don't know what it'll be.
But Riz makes a good point. If that's part of the
Well, if they're not willing to
Mafia.
close the door and we have the doorknob, they at least can't change where it's coming in and out.
no, but do we walk into some kind of a
Headquarters on the other side.
headquarters of the Glitz and Glower in
Yeah,
the
we have to
Feywild?
Oh.
Hard
like
to say.
Guards, warriors, magical people that we would need to fight.
We just
We
end
don't
up
know
in
what's on
the
the other end.
end
We
up
don't
in the
know.
headquarters of
Right.
I mean, he went through, but we don't know what happened to him.
That's true. Maybe he killed everybody on the other side and our work's already done.
Oh.
Who knows? I guess
Or-
we only know once we take the leap.
Oh. Well, do you
Or-
think that the what was the setup of the doorknob when
just like-
when it was connected to like the portal that they had?
It literally is just like
Kind of
Uh,
stuck in the middle. It's like floating there, kind of almost.
no, the portal is just like the portal is basically just a tear in reality, and someone just kind of like shoved a door in it before it could close, and it's sort of like just being held open by a door jam, by like a door frame, and there's just a knob on it that you can turn to change the destination.
Zakkai tried to grab it.
Don't we have it?
Yeah.
I thought we took it.
No.
No,
it's-
we couldn't get it out.
They
Push
hide
it
it
off.
off.
It's there.
Shit,
Yeah.
I thought we had it.
No,
the
I
whole
tried
time.
to sneak it
No.
off.
He was
We
too,
tried to take it, but we
Dang
didn't
it.
get it.
He was
It
too
couldn't-
weak.
It's true.
Hi.
So I'll work on my push-ups. I drop.
Okay.
Was he
Well,
really good form?
I look great.
Basil, didn't you
Really
say
watch it.
that?
Sorry. What?
Can you push
One hand.
down really? Basil, didn't you
Yeah.
say that your your new ring creates a tear in
I
the
mean,
planes?
that's what Nik-Nak said when he was giving
Yeah.
out stuff. It could,
That's what
it could
it does, I
tear into,
So
but I
Can we
don't.
jam our
we
own
need to
door
make a
into
tear
it?
and put our own door into it.
I mean, I guess
can't
always the
control
problem
it.
is we don't know
It
where
said
the
it was
tear
a
goes, and
random
if we
effect.
go
It was
if we go
random.
random, that could be a really bad place to
It-
go
it's
to.
a
in the Fae.
consequence of using the ring, not a function of the ring.
Okay. Probably wouldn't be it.
And we can't control what plane it goes to.
I-
Or
it would be
it
from
it said
I-
it just
I
opens
think it
at
all
random.
goes to the Fae, right?
think it is.
It all goes.
It
all
It's
goes
always-
to
always,
the Fae.
it's always the Fae, but there's
I-
also a chance that nothing will happen at all.
Right.
Not opposed at all to going back to the lemon drop and using that portal, but I do worry about what's on the other side.
Well,
I mean,
getting
if,
to
if,
it.
if
doesn't
Anara
really-
thinks that's okay, I agree with Anara. I think we should try maybe sneaking back into the Glitz and Glower.
We
I'm
would
just
just
saying,
probably need a way
That's
to
worried
sneak
about
out.
getting in there. I'm worried about on the other side.
Well,
Oh.
I'm more worried about what Riz might take or that situation. Not you, but.
I get it.
Is
I
our
get it.
only option going to the Feywild?
Well-
Are there other
Well, if there
courses of action that are related to
Well,
this problem?
I was thinking, I don't know how we would do this, but if this collector collects rare things and we could somehow get into contact with them, we have a very, very rare thing that's hidden.
A trade.
But I mean,
And we'd at least maybe to get his attention, and then we would know where he is.
but I mean,
And
the
then we
more
can
people,
bamboozle them.
the more
Right.
people who know about it, the more dangerous it gets.
But they're on the Fae side.
What if they can just come here?
Wait, the curator is not in the Fae.
I don't
No,
think
I'm
the
talking
person in the
about-
Feywild is the
Right,
curator
right.
was just like
Separate
a random
thing.
thing.
Just
Right.
whoever this
Okay,
collector
this
is.
person.
Yeah.
It's just I think it's just that all I could gather was that it must be some sort of high to have many objects that are that powerful. Must be some sort of high-ranking person or creature in the Feywild. But
And surely they would be interested in
I
a
like,
certain kind of.
and
Hey.
obviously if they're protecting this fragment of immortality and they're not using it, they're a powerful person or creature, whoever or whatever it is. They're powerful enough in their own right.
That they,
I think, and from what Varen said, they just like collecting
yeah,
things.
they don't need it. Yeah.
Maybe it's just some ancient dragon and they don't want to use anything. They just like having it. And that could be to our benefit if they would end up just protecting the egg.
I just like them.
So,
And if
we
you
don't have a
get in
lead on
contact
where-
with anyone that's an archfey or higher, my queen's gonna probably know who they are.
Will we have to trade for
Back-
that information?
Probably.
No, you just ask her that's where you want to go. To whoever that is.
I'm sure if we wanted an answer from her, we'd also have to trade for that.
So we don't have a lead on the collector, other than
Only that
There
they in the city.
And Veyron said she doesn't know who they are, but maybe she could at least tell us more about the location that Kuvo was running to.
perhaps we talk to her and see.
And,
There's
or at least
any
what she knows about the
information that
city
she
or who
has.
she knows there.
She's been to and from this portal.
Yeah, I
Right.
think she
Yes.
was kind of helping them use
maybe
it
she
for a
has
while.
Information that
Yeah.
we don't yet know would be useful.
Or a contact.
But
You
we
know,
haven't
if
talked
we-
to her
if we
since,
go.
Yeah.
since this event.
I think we
Yeah.
should talk to her.
It's time.
And, I mean, worst case scenario, we might have another option to get there. My father wrote me a letter that he left with the presents that he gave me, but he did say that he was going to an area of the Republic that was rumored to just, I don't know, it was just some area where the separation between the planes was very thin, kind of like how it is here. It's just a thin place, and they were just.
Where in the Republic?
He just said it's in the northeast. Riz, did you find anything? We're all, anything you can say to me, you can say to the second law.
The only thing that I researched, I found about places that are, planes that are close to that area. I'm not gonna lie, there's, in the only thing that I looked up in the northwestern part of the Republic, there is a mountain range where a long abandoned temple to Asmodeus is.
Well, I'm sure it's not that. What about anything else? What was the other thing you found?
I think that might be where he is.
Well, I mean, he's a diplomat, so if that's where
What's the name of the mountain range?
where the thin.
It is called. Where's my map?
I told you to put tabs on the books. The amount of time I've spent him
The
flipping pages.
Balhass Mountain Range.
The Bauhaus.
Balhss.
Can
How?
you see the map?
So it's just somewhere in that mountain range, and there's just a rumor of a cave that.
I mean, the only thing that was in that kind of area is a temple to Asmodeus.
temple.
Or was one.
Well,
So if it's thin between the planes, I'm not sure if the...
and a
Say
cave.
what on the
A
other
cave
side.
is obviously not a temple, so it's probably not the same thing. But I mean, that's not the Feywild, so I guess that wouldn't help us.
Where are we again?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk to Professor Vera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Go
agree.
find her.
For now, we
Always get-
don't have
My head hurts.
Mine
an
too.
obvious direction.
Right. Riz, lead the way.
To the infirmary! And he kind of turns and starts walking. Having done like research, gathered everything up, you're heading off to the infirmary to question Professor Veyron. We'll find out what they're going to ask Professor Veyron when we come back next time. The plot thickens.
Research episodes.
As thick as
And-
Tem's porridge he was eating earlier.
I know.
As thick
Instead
as his feet.
Yeah.
Up his
Yeah.
feet.
we don't have shopping
English.
episodes. We have research episodes.
Yeah,
we now have library episodes.
Yeah,
Library,
so
yeah.
good.
Still
A
get
lot
cool
of
stuff.
research and we have no answers.
I know. Yeah.
We're really good at it.
I mean, we got lots of information, but
Not.
there
much
isn't
of-
like
Right.
this is the direction.
Right.
Yeah.
So you
Well, that's
guys
Faye for you.
decide how to use that information.
we
We'll
have
find out
actually.
next time.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us here at Tales of Terragia. We'll be back next time. Until then, always do your research because you're gonna get a lot of it and have no idea what to do.
Cite your sources.
Bye guys.
Bye.